Well, we finally ordered up some football weather here in mid-October as we greet you from just outside of Boston at Chestnut Hill under overcast and rainy skies and cooler temperatures as we're in the Atlantic Division on this football Saturday for the meeting between Louisville and Steve Addazio and Boston College, who returned home after a 5-point loss at NC State last Saturday. With James Bates, Wes Durham, you'll meet Rebecca Capel in just a moment. We welcome you to our coverage. Close, but not a win last Saturday for Boston College. And now the storyline of last week is carried over to this week, and that's the status of the running back, A.J. Dillon. James.
Yep, the headline is the stud won't go. A guy that Steve Addazio calls a generational player around here. And we're talking like Doug Flutie. We're talking Matt Ryan, a guy that can change a game, erase the game. A.J. Dillon will not go again, and they're hoping not only to rest him this week, but then they've got the bye next week, and then it's Miami in that home stretch. So when Addazio also says we are not about one player, we recruit to have a team full of players. They had to go last week, and they're going to have to make it happen again. And last week, it was a little too late. Some turnovers that they couldn't take advantage of early in the first half, some missed balls. Really, Glines and company did an outstanding job offensively, especially in the second half. They had the big special teams play. And one more thing that the head ball coach around here likes to harp on, he likes the intensity, he likes the toughness of this football team. And I think that certainly showed on the road against what we all can agree is probably the #2 team in the ACC right now, NC State. A very physical battle that they continue to fight until the very final whistle. But now they've got to turn it around, and they've got to do it against a team that people say is a 2-touchdown underdog in Louisville. But watch out, because this is a very talented underdog, and if they get going early, momentum could be a killer for BC.
So Boston College will try to get to 5-2 for the first time in Steve Addazio's 6 seasons. But Rebecca, here's Louisville now losing 3 straight. They want to get back to winning, and they're needing winning ways to get there.
That's right, Wes. It has been a very disappointing season, to say the least. They've had those 3 straight losses, but it's how they've lost those games that has the Cardinal faithful so concerned. They gave up nearly 550 yards on the ground last week against Georgia Tech. And the most disappointing part may have been just how deflated the team looked on the sidelines during that game. So as you mentioned, more positivity this week. The team has some new goals, and it starts with that, being positive and really just sticking together, not giving up on each other. Coach Petrino made his squad watch that Georgia Tech game from last week, and then he had them watch the FSU game to see the gap in their performance. He said there's been a sense of urgency at practice. Everyone's anxious to make plays and turn this season around, and it begins with a complete game here at Boston College against a team that really got the better of them last year. Another issue the Louisville's going to have to deal with today is this weather. It is raining, it is cold, and this field is slick, something they're not terribly used to, guys.
All right, Rebecca, thanks very much. Louisville won the toss and elects to receive, so we'll get a look at the redshirt sophomore Jawan Puma pass here and the Cards offense right out of the gate. But you can see we're sub 50 degrees, and there is rain in the forecast at least for about the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. And the 11th meeting all time between the Cards and the Eagles of Boston College. Coming your way here from Alumni Stadium. And our contest today is presented to you by your local Ford dealer. And BC's wearing the Hail Flutie jerseys today, James. A nod to the early 80s when Doug Flutie and Boston College had that great win at Miami.
No stripe on the hat. It's kind of old school. I like the old school gold.
Yep.
It's a better looking gold.
So here's the kick. And Hassan Hall, the freshman from Atlanta, fields it at the 9. And Hall will be taken down just shy of the 25-yard line. Let's get to James Bates' keys to the game, brought to you by Ford.
The horses are now approaching the starting gate, and they're all in. And that's what it is. You know, we'll go some horse talk with the guys from Louisville. They're all in, and you know what? When that bell rings, they have got to come out the gate. They have got to start fast and get some feel-good back in this camp. For Boston College, 3rd downs or 3rd loss. It's just that simple. They have been terrible getting off the field on 3rd downs on defense. Offensively, they haven't been much better staying on the field, converting those 3rd downs. They've got to make it happen today.
Pass his first pass toward the tight end. Kamari Everett batted down at the line of scrimmage. And I think it was big Ray Smith, the nose tackle, 96 there, that got the hand up in the air.
Look at the uni of Ray Smith. Yeah. He's got it all rolled up. The colder it gets, the more skin he's going to show. That's an excellent job. That's why you use those hands to separate. Keep those guys off of you. If you're chest to chest, you can't free those arms up. Had them at arm's length. Use that mirror technique and knock it down.
Here's pass. That's Trey Smith and dropped. And James, those are the unforced errors right there that are frustrating Louisville.
Well, you go way back to the Western Kentucky game. Frustrating Louisville, frustrating Puma Pass. Puma Pass, remember, that was the game Malik Cunningham came on, provided the spark, came back and won that football game. The next week at Virginia, Malik Cunningham started. But early on, some of those incompletions from Puma Pass were drops. And drops not just from guys like Trey, but guys like Jalen Smith, who is finally kind of getting his groove back.
Third down, in trouble, and a sack. Wyatt Ray tracks down Puma Pass back inside the 10. 3 and out. Goes BC on defense.
Well, that's just what you drew up defensively. You wanted to get there. Watch it's a delayed stunt by Wyatt Ray. It's going to come from that defensive end spot. Offensive linemen think they've got everything locked down. Oh, by the way, there's a great big opening, and Wyatt Ray just runs him down to knock down, and that was huge. They could not get off the field defensively last week.
Mason King to punt it away, and this is Michael Walker who's going to let it hit. And it then bounces up and contacts a card right about the Boston College or the Louisville 45-yard line. It's just a 32-yard punt by King. And plus field territory now for Anthony Brown, the redshirt sophomore from Cliffwood, New Jersey, at the controls for Steve Adazio's team.
Well, if they draw one up now for the sophomore, here today, Anthony Brown. They had the ball plays called last week against NC State, and there were a couple misses early on. If they've got one drawn up, they've got the right play called, they've got to connect, they got to hit it early today.
Here's Ben Glines filling in for A.J. Dillon. Had 100 yards and change last week in Raleigh, and he'll fight to the edge in the boundary for a yard or two. D. Smith, the Cards' leading tackler, coming down from the safety spot to make the play. And BC quickly over the football. Second down and about 8 here for the Eagles.
Not yet even over the football. They didn't have a football to be down over. Here they go.
Play fake by Brown. Tommy Sweeney, the tight end. Knocked out of bounds, shy of the first down by Dorian Etheridge, the linebacker. It'll be third down coming up for Boston College. 6-yard throw to Tommy Sweeney.
And this is a very big third down here. It's to convert here, stay on the field, that fast start that we talked about that Louisville needed. They certainly didn't get it offensively. BC needs to put it on defensively too.
Third down, and Glines pushes forward for the first to the 32-yard line. And Ben Glines started the year as a wide receiver out of St. X in Cincinnati. And James, he's our hearty star to watch here today.
Yes, sir. Guy just until last week was still listed on the wide receiver depth chart, but he certainly runs like a big, bad running back. And he's been a nice spark, a nice fill-in for the injured A.J. Dillon. We talked about off the top of the show, scored one on the ground and in the air at NC State last weekend in the second half. And, you know, this fast start, even Rebecca hit on it, the cold weather, whereas you may get some of that in Louisville. There are a lot of Floridians on this team, and they're not used to it, the young ones especially.
Look at this, wide open down the backside, the tight end. And it's going to be a touchdown for Hunter Long. How about that? Out of nowhere comes Hunter Long for the catch.
Got a lot of tight ends that can do a lot of different things on this team. They're here, they'll bring all the way across. In motion is Ray Martin, and it's Hunter Long setting up shop down in a bust in coverage by Louisville. Off the play action look, they're going to take another look at this to see if he didn't get into the end zone. But that is exactly the start that Anthony Brown, Steve Adazio, and this home team, Boston College team, they needed to get it going like that. And you know what? It was huge. He had, last week, he had a guy in Jeff Smith wide open in the corner of the end zone. On the first drive, he missed him. This time he hits them, and whether they're in or not, they're going to be knocking at the door. They're going to have 6 points on the board, and that is exactly what they wanted to do.
Tell you what, you might want to buy Hunter Long in your next touchdown lottery. 3 catches and 2 touchdowns if this one stands, James. And his average is going to be right about 30-some yards a catch.
That's not bad, is it? Okay, so here's what they're looking at. Remember, it was called a touchdown on the field. This ball cannot be outside the pylon. It's got to come inside the pylon. Even if his body's out of bounds, the ball has to come inside the pylon, and that's what they're looking at. And the question will be, is there an angle where they can overturn it?
Remember, the ruling on the field was a touchdown.
Right.
And if that's the ball that we see there briefly, it looks like it's inside the pylon. Now, that's just one angle, obviously.
Well, and it's not the best angle. But, you know, what's interesting is the freshman, a lot of players will put that ball on the inside trying to get it across the pylon.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown for Hunter Long, his third catch of the year, and his second score. And, boy, what a confidence boost for Anthony Brown, James.
Absolutely. Didn't try to bring it to that inside hand. That's where you see so many of those fumbles, guys trying to get it over that goal line.
And the point after is good by Colton Lichtenberg. 5 plays, 45 yards, minute 35. It's a 26-yard touchdown pass. Anthony Brown to Hunter Long. All right, James, there's the Hail Flutie jersey, so to speak, road version. BC's got to feel pretty good about wearing the unis today. 5 plays, 45 yards, 95 seconds. The Flutie jerseys lead 7-0. Here's Hassan Hall waiting on the kick. Jungled it about the 3. And he'll get to the 16. There'll be a flag. That's a block in the back on Louisville. Wow. And that'll push the Cards back.
Hassan Hall, we'll see him at running back quite a bit today for Bobby Petrino. He's a speedster that can go, and first 2 opportunities to cover. And
during the return, illegal block in the back on the return team, number 98. Half a distance to the goal, first down.
Tavarius Peterson is the guilty party on the block in the back for Bobby Petrino.
Sorry, West. BC's done a good job both times covering and locking him down. And you see right there, boom. Well, that's pretty easy to see, middle of the screen, and that's just, you can't do that. It's like 2 hands. It's not, there's no maybe about that. And here you go. Now you're in an even deeper hole. 3 and out. Puma pass in this offense. First time out. They got to get something going.
Ball at the 8. Here's the toss, and this is Hall, who can really fly, picking up a couple. Got taken down, and that was Brandon Sebastian. Now, there are going to be some things that it was interesting talking to Jim Reed, the great defensive coordinator at BC, about how they're going to match a little bit of what Louisville elects to do with all the personnel packages that Bobby Petrino can throw at you.
Right. A lot of that now is it'll get when you get in nickel situations, you worry about getting some mismatches in there when you've got a running quarterback. Lamar Jackson stung him early and often the last couple years.
That ball hit the ground, and it's fumbled again, and then the hit is made. Strahan, the linebacker, polished off Hall, but looked like Puma pass never really had the snap here, James.
Well, when it sprinkles, it pours. A light drizzle down on the field. And, you know, in week 2, there were some issues with the wet ball with Puma pass. And Bobby Petrino told us they worked in the rain this week. They had a rain, and that he doesn't see any issues handling the football with Puma pass. A little bit low, that snap. But, I mean, that's an everyday thing, and he's got to hold on to that.
From the pocket, center of the field, and he'll sneak out, but is pulled down shy of the first down, I believe, at the 17 by Zach Allen. That's the best offensive play Louisville's had, and it looked like a pass play, and Puma pass just tried to escape the pocket and make something positive happen.
Well, it absolutely was. I think they'll have a couple packages in here for design quarterback called runs with Malik Cunningham. But that absolutely waiting for somebody to get open, had some time. The pocket finally collapses. They almost got the first down.
Right.
Another 3 and out for the Eagle D.
Mason King to punt it to Michael Walker. Return game could be interesting today. Both these schools have 2 of the more exciting return guys, but boy, Louisville covered that one very well. Cards got down there quickly. That was well done. Jacopo along with Bateman. 34-yard punt. Back to Chestnut Hill after this. Don't forget ACC All Access, your ticket to what's happening inside the conference this week. Ryan Finley is in the player spotlight of NC State, who's out to prove that this can be the year the Wolfpack wins the big game. And then James Bates going to offer you his thoughts on next Saturday's ball game at Frank Howard Field. The Pack and Tigers headline Week 8 in the ACC. Little flea flicker. Michael Walker, the catch inside the 10. Anthony Brown is rolling early. 42 yards, James.
Absolutely, and this wasn't a shot. I mean, Louisville, believe it or not, did a good job of recognizing. They recognized, but the defensive back fell and couldn't catch back up, and the pass still had to be perfect, even though it was the okey-doke. Now Louisville having all kinds of trouble substituting men in as they set that football.
Here's Brown. This is Glines at the 5, and Louisville tightens from their defensive front and pushes him back. So not much there for Ben Glines on first down.
Scott Leffler, lefty, as his offense goes down into the CPI red zone. He loves the trickery. He's got a lot that they can do with former quarterbacks all around. Out in the flat,
and the catch is made, and that is Ray Martin, the redshirt junior, Bell Harbor, New York, hauling it in.
You know, it's... And you love seeing that play call early, because those are the ones that just kind of crush you. You know, it's the momentum we talked about early. You get the big hitter. Now see if they can punch it in. Tommy Sweeney on the edge, setting the block for his guy.
Yep, Ben Glines goes in for the touchdown. Number 3 on the ground this year for Glines.
Tommy Sweeney, well, take a look at it, Wes, but he might... Thought maybe you might see a little yellow flag up there on the right side of your screen. He does all he can. Yeah, he had a hold of that jersey, but we've had the discussions with a lot of these coaches. This football's changing a little bit. And, hey, if they're going to let you hold, you're on the offensive line, you might as well do it, right?
And now play will be stopped with 9 minutes even to go here in the
substitution on the defense. Half a distance to the goal. Try for point.
So Tommy Sweeney getting handshakes on the BC bench. Adazio's team has got 2 touchdowns on the board in the first 6 minutes of play. And Louisville, by the way, at this point is good, James. Will have been outscored 70-14 in the first quarter this year.
With this offense that Bobby Petrino thought might be even more efficient than they have the past 2 years in preseason.
Yep.
It's hard to believe.
Kick is good from Lichtenberg. Ben Glines out of St. X in Cincinnati. School's been awfully good to BC. And our Jaguar scoring drive, The Drive, brought to you by Jaguar.
It was a quick one. Get Glines some Skyline chili, man. They got the Skyline chili, the pipeline, and there's Glines getting to the edge, off the block, on the edge by the tight end, Tommy Sweeney. But big stuff for Anthony Brown. He's a quarterback. We've seen him make those throws. You go back to the Wake Forest game, he makes all those throws. And he can get hot and cold, and he was cold in that first half against NC State. But he's hit a couple that were there here so far today. So his confidence has got to be in the right place now for BC. And, well, 14-0, that'll certainly help you with 9 minutes still left to go in the first quarter.
End over end kick toward Hall, and he's going to let it hit in the end zone. And Louisville will get their best starting position at its 25. And time for our Synovus Greatness Made Here. Visit Rebecca with a special guest.
That's right, Wes. I've got Cameron Moore, who was a starting quarterback here for the Eagles for 3 years, but this year he now plays on Sundays for the Giants in the NFL.
Yeah.
You're back, though, for homecoming weekend. How special is this?
This is very special. My first time back since getting drafted, so it's a special feeling here this weekend.
Now, you remember the Louisville game last year. I'm sure you made a big play. Take me through that.
Well, we actually had a guy, Ham Tevers, come in, step in, and make a big play to force the fumble. And I recovered that, tried to get as much yardage as I could, and that led to us kicking a field goal and winning the game on the road.
Well, we're watching that video right now. That was quite a play, and really a good turnaround for this Boston College team was that Louisville game. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like that the win versus Louisville springboarded us into, I think it was 4 straight wins after that. But, yeah, it was a great win for us.
Now, I know Coach Adazio and his staff have really changed the culture here. This is a tough place to play. You got to be tough. You got to be hard-nosed kind of guy. How has that prepared you for the NFL?
Just honestly being able to battle adversity. The toughness you get here, you can face anything. And they always talk about sudden change, being on your toes, and being ready to adapt. And that's pretty much what the NFL is.
And now you're getting to kind of coach, because I had to pull you away from the benches over there to come and talk to me. So hanging out with the guys.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to be back.
All right, Cameron, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Thanks to Cameron Moore. Tremendous player for Don Brown, who was here and then later went to Michigan. And, of course, Jim Reed, the coordinator now. And you saw Devontae Pete, big 22-yard catch. Louisville at the midfield spot. And here's Puma pass on a little RPO. And he'll keep it on the replay for about 5 yards. First venture into BC territory. Will Harris, the safety, made the stop.
Well, you saw the last 2 plays. You see the difference in using the legs. This is a guy in Puma pass that can move a little bit. As you see guys go, look at him go after that rock, jumping in there, trying to get a piece of it. Louisville is 127th in turnover margin.
Look at the ball deep here and overthrown, looking for Tutu Atwell. The freshman from Miami at 155 pounds on the post route had gotten behind Lucas Dennis.
Couple steps, couldn't connect, but there's the speed, and it's all over. It's Tutu Atwell, it's Hassan Hall. They've got some guys that can flat fly, and that's why I said off the top, you let them stick around and make a big play and give them some confidence. And this is a team that if they get some feel-good going, that they can be extremely dangerous, even though they've been down in the dumps here as of late. Still trying for their first 3rd down pickup here.
3rd down and 5 it is, James. And here on the near side, Seth Dawkins. The catch, he had 2 for 21 last week against Georgia Tech. And that's about an 8-yard throw there for the first down.
Well, it's good to see Seth Dawkins getting back in there, the junior from Columbus, Ohio. He's had the hamstring issue. He hasn't played a ton. And again, it's an offensive line that's given some time to Puma pass and letting these routes develop. Let them come all the way across the field. Nice pickup on first down to keep this drive alive.
4 receivers here in the package. Pass. And here to the near side, that is Devontae Pete's second catch. Now, Devontae Pete out of Pompano Beach is 6'6", 205 pounds. He's now got 3 straight games of at least 2 receptions, James. And he's a guy in an area that, quite frankly, has been a struggle. He's kind of emerging for this Louisville team a little bit.
Absolutely. It's, they've had some guys banged up. Fortunately, they're getting guys back out there and healthy, like Seth Dawkins, like Jalen Smith.
Little counter and no fooling there. Kevin Bletzer, who had the interception in Raleigh last week, comes away with a play behind the line there.
Boy, this is just smart football. This is eyes. This is vision. You see those big bodies. You see those big bodies that are coming across. The white jerseys are coming across for a reason. Here he is in the middle. You see the misdirection. He'll take a step this way, but immediately those bodies are going for a reason, and they send him the other way. He sets up shop right on the edge, and it's nothing doing. A lot of youngsters will go running out of there in a hurry the wrong way.
In the pocket pass. Flushed. Back across his body, incomplete. Looked like he was trying to get to either Fitzpatrick or to Hall, and instead it's going to be 3rd and long.
Nice job by pass. It's started to get into it earlier on the big pickup on 2nd down. Pass showed you how he can buy some time with his legs. Here he does the same thing. Throw is just off the mark. Decent coverage there. And it's a secondary that had pretty good coverage throughout the day against NC State last week. And Bobby Petrino was hot. He wanted a flag. Wanted a defensive pass interference on that one. He won't get it, so here comes the punt team.
7 plays, and now the 3rd punt in as many possessions for King. Just trying to flip this one over. It will hit at the 5, and well done by Louisville to cover it up. In fact, it was the long snapper, Mitch Hall, that got down there to touch it up for the Cards, James.
How about King? That's now 11 inside the 20. He's been excellent. One of the best punters in the ACC. Field goals have been really good, too. One bright spot.
Well, we said Fitzpatrick and Hall were the 2 receivers, James, and here's Sebastian defending.
Well, Sebastian has a hold of the jersey all the way across the field. Then he tugs it again. Comes through, grabs him, and that's why Bobby Petrino is so hot. He had a step, and it happened right there in front of his bench. He continued to yell throughout the break.
Glines again, kind of poking and prodding. The ball is fumbled. Glines went to the ground. Now, was he ruled down or is it ruled a turnover? Clock is stopped. Dorian Etheridge recovered it on the bounce. Now, did he hit the ground before the ball got jarred loose?
Well, this is just what the Cards need after putting them down here deep. Still in.
Well, they're going to look at this, of course, but Okeke knocked it loose, and it looked like Etheridge came up with the rock. It's been ruled a fumble.
Okay, you can't see there. Again, like Wes just said, they called it a fumble on the field, so they have to have evidence to overturn it.
Looks like the left hand might have hit the ground.
Is under further
doesn't
review.
Matter, though.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Louisville.
And they can't see anything through there. Well,
that very first look might be our best look, but I don't know that it's one you can overturn. Here it comes again. All right. Ball's coming out. The way he's extended it, I don't think you have anything that can overturn it, Wes.
I agree.
This is a little bit of a blurry look right there in the middle.
And they're showing it on the video boards here at Alumni Stadium on this rainy Saturday. Boy, what a momentum swing this would be.
Huge.
Well, it was interesting. We were talking with Steve Addazio about this yesterday. Louisville has turned it over 14 times. Boston College has taken away the ball 16 times. You never see a 30 differential in those 2 numbers. You see 20s occasionally. 30 is unheard of sometimes.
Cardinals second to last in the NCAA in turnover margin.
Yeah.
So not only have they been coughing it up, but they haven't been getting it back. Here's a get back. As they try to take one more look at it, that knee, the
replay official is Jack Kramer.
The ruling on the field stands.
There you go.
First down, Louisville.
So it is a fumble on the second play. And now the first turnover of the ball game goes the way of the Cards, who trail with 5:26 to play in this opening period.
Huge. Turnovers late in that Florida State game is what cost them. Could it be a turnover early in this game in favor of Bobby Petrino's team that puts them back into it, gets them some juice and some feel good? They need to get in the paint here. They absolutely can't settle for a field goal. They need to punch it in.
Pistol set with Trey Smith, the running back. Pass to keep it. Got nothing. Boy, that was well defended. Zach Allen made the play, but Strahan, the linebacker, almost intercepted the handoff. Oh, no, that was Allen that was there, and then came back and made the play. Goodness, James.
Boy, and an excellent job. If you know what, as a linebacker, if you don't have to deal with those big bodies, don't go up and take them on, get tangled up with them. Strahan does a good job, too. Allen as well. Here comes second down.
Smith will carry here, and so about the 3, perhaps the 2 for third down. Allen and Will Harris. James, just curious here. They're so good at tight end, Louisville. Mickey Crum, Kamari Embry. Do they go tight end here, short yardage like this?
Well, and now's a situation where it's all eyes on that tight end. You run it on first and second down where you have the threat maybe of a play-action pass.
Malik Cunningham's come in at quarterback here. Cunningham will keep it to the left side and did not get in. Isaiah McDuffie, 55, makes the stop.
Well, this is tough because you got to think a big Puma pass at 6'4", 235 might be able to power that extra inch. Cunningham 6'1", 190. Yeah, he can jet. They need to look at it. That could be a touchdown. They're quick over the ball, though. I don't know if they will.
Here's Cunningham trying to drive in. Did he get in? Louisville says he's in. Did not get in. Wow. Ruling on the field is he's short.
As a further review, the ruling on the field is the runner was stopped short of the goal line.
Looked like the ball was reached out, but was he down before the ball was reached out? The ruling on the field here is going to be the critical portion of this, I think.
Again, right. And then you take it a step further. Will there be an angle that allows us to overturn it? You know, and I'm impressed with the fight of Malik Cunningham and the trust in the young man. See, here's the deal. He's not down because he's not on the ground. He's leaning forward, and he's going to be laying on bodies. So he's on bodies. There's no part of his.
But is that in?
You know, and the beautiful thing about it is he's got his teammate there, Kamari Everett. That's like not trying to pull the. He's just trying to pull the ball just a little bit.
He is trying to pull the ball.
Just get.
Not
just
trying to pull
the
the ball, but he's pulling the ball.
Yeah, I mean, just you know.
Now that's on the white, which is, but is the knee down?
Well, I don't think.
Do they know the ruling on the field is he was not in?
And so, and here's the way they'll look at it. They'll look at it, and you know, when we get a chance, I'd like to go back to the play before because I think they were so fast over that ball. And how about the trust too that for Bobby Petrino, just put it in the hands of Malik Cunningham, right. And just hey, go out there and make it happen. But if his knee was down, you're not going to be able to see in all of that mess if it was ever down. I would say that it wouldn't. He never would have touched the ground,
right? Because
he's on top of everybody else. Everything kind of tightens up and changes when you get down there on the goal line. You know, I mean, if he's laying on that pile and then stands up and goes and runs 50 yards in midfield, it all counts, and that's all everybody cares about. That's just tough because, again, you've got two plays within a few minutes of each other where you maybe could say it was going to be overturned, but you just didn't have the angle. You didn't have the shot to upstairs make the replay officials say, no, you've got to change that around.
Well, remember, Jack Kramer's the replay official, William Dixon the communicator, and they're on the connection to Greensboro to the command center. And so Greensboro's also looking in on this. And Ted Jackson oversees that operation, and it's taken a while. So sometimes, at least, James, I'll tell you, in my Sunday experience, the longer it goes means there's a chance of a reversal here. But I'm with you. I'm back to the play before where could you tell if Cunningham's knee was down before the ball broke the plane or vice versa? Did the ball break the plane before the right knee was down? And you can see they're busily at work here. Now here's the third down play.
Remember, this isn't the one that matters to anybody else. There's
the knee down, though. Left knee's down.
Okay, all right. So that left knee's down. So that was the correct call. Just to make sure we're clear on that. And again, this is that third down play. All right.
Yep.
So that's over. That was the correct call. It was a good effort by Malik Cunningham. But it's the fourth down play that's in question, and it's in when they come back with the replay review with the wording. I'm going to guess that it'll say the play stands because they can't confirm it, and I don't think they can overturn it here either. So
now here's the fourth down play.
You know, and an excellent job defensively. Can't get a number there by BC to tackle up high. You can't tackle low on the goal line. You can't tackle low on the goal line because you tackle them low and they can lean in. You got to hit them up high, hit them up at those shoulder pads and stand them up. But, you know, again, you've got a third down and short, a fourth down and short right at the goal line, and you've got a beast at quarterback in Puma Pants.
Yep.
I understand that there are these situations where you've got some quarterback run situations. You've got this package for Malik Cunningham in there when he has some space and he can make some guys miss in space. And yeah, he can put that foot in the ground and turn it up and get there towards the goal line. But when push comes to shove, can he power through? Here it comes.
After review, it was determined that the ball crossed the goal line before the runner's body was on the ground. Touchdown.
So there you go, and what a great big reversal for the guys in the white unis. Look at Cunningham continuing to fight. Bobby Petrino said he's had an excellent attitude throughout the week. There's Dazio's reaction, still keeping his guys pumped up. After the touchdown, big time turn of events there for the Cards with the turnover and then 6.
Freaky's point is blocked. Scooped up, Ham Cheevers. And he won't get very far. In fact, it's Jordan Davis, a backup at tight end, that makes the tackle on him.
Boy, they blocked a field goal last week, a punt last week. This is the first time they've had a miss on a field goal or an extra point for Louisville. 16 of 16 on extra points. It's Zach Allen that's going to get in there and get the block. Boy, this is Steve Adazio's team becoming the new Beamer ball up here with the special teams blocks? My goodness. And again, it's that momentum. Hey, it's 1 point, and it's early in the game. But finish it off. Be crisp. Be crisp, and then go out there, get 3 and out, get that offense back on the field, and feel like you're supposed to feel. Feel like you thought you were going to feel coming into this football season. Just get some feel-good, some positive, and things being crisp, and things working for you.
James, does anybody grind it like the 58-year-old native of Farmington, Connecticut? Huh? I mean, no team in the country personifies their coach's personality better than this one does.
Yeah.
And he's such a good fit here.
Oh, he really is.
You know? And boy, he's done a great job just building this thing.
I think the thing that he does best is ordering up our lunch from Limoncello when we come for our production meetings. There's some good meatballs.
Oh, my heavens. And this is Walker. Did that pop out? And now we got guys being thrown into the bench area here. Louisville says they got a fumble, and they come out of there with it. The Cards come out with the football. It looks like Quinn Head may have done it.
Walker had a big fumble against Temple on a kick return. They've been great special teams-wise, except for a couple big turnovers. And here's Walker again, who's been one of the best around. He just runs into his own guy. Did an excellent job of falling on it. And how about this? You're down 14-0. Speaking of teams that refuse to quit, I mean, Louisville, even though early in the game, everything has gone wrong. They had 66 scored against them in the Georgia Tech game last weekend. Just an embarrassing loss on Friday night. The whole country watching. They go down 14-0, and now, thanks to some turnovers, trying to turn this thing around and go down and have a chance to come within 1 point or tie it up.
There are flags everywhere. One over toward the Louisville sideline. There was one thrown here near the BC bench. David Epperle's got to sort this out. He's been very busy here in the first 11.5 minutes of the ball game.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Louisville. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on Louisville number 86, 15-yard penalty.
Wow.
That is number 86, first unsportsmanlike. We also have a sideline warning on the Louisville bench.
So Devontae Pete gets the unsportsmanlike, the sideline warning after the head fumble recovery of Walker's giveaway. So rather than starting at the BC 25, Louisville's 5th possession, James, 2 free possessions on the house here for the Cards, comes at the 40-yard line with Puma pass back at quarterback.
Be careful now, Jim Reed's defense. Be alert for that sudden change. Be alert for that quick turnover and watch him trying to go up top. You think you're going to get a rest, get off the field for a little bit. You're back out there playing defense. You better be ready.
Pass wants the throw. Pressure coming back across the middle. Catch made. And that's Mickey Crum, the tight end, back toward the 20-yard line. And all of a sudden, Louisville's got some momentum. McDuffie leads the tackle parade with the safety, Lucas Dennis.
How about it? Nice play pass, and Puma pass just standing in there tall. His offensive line starting to give him some time. And when you got a big target like Crum just setting up shop in the middle of the field, easy to hit. And then Crum looking pretty good, tucking it and going and getting some more.
Just ahead of 3 minutes to go in this first period. Fascinating first few series of football here at Alumni Stadium. 14-0 Boston College, and then Louisville on the beneficiary now of 2 fumbles. And the Cards are driving again. McDuffie got a hand in the passing lane on a ball intended again for the tight end Crum.
Nice job by McDuffie. Again, this isn't the guy who's got to go play pass first in McDuffie. He's a linebacker. So he's got to respect that run fake. He's got to stay in there, and then he plays a little bit of catch-up and does an excellent job putting that front arm in front, knocking it away, forcing second down.
5 wide here, James, including the Fitzpatrick in the slot to the left, and there's where pass will go with it. Fitzpatrick will have the first down inside the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 9, first and goal for the Cards. Strahan, the linebacker, made the play on a 13-yard throw and catch.
And trailing the whole way through. And Puma Pass starting to get a little bit of rhythm with his throwing, with the combination of the feet, moving it around a little bit. He sprints out, 5 wides, and in the secondary, a little bit of a bust because everybody trailing right there, and it's first down and goal once again.
That's Crum, the tight end, in motion. Smith inside the 5, chopped down around the 2. Kenny Thomas on the lead blocks there. He's lined up at right guard.
Boy, nice job there.
Boy, Smith's hurt too. Trey Smith's got to come out of their shoulder. Oh boy. So they bring Hassan Hall in.
You mentioned Kenny Thomas. Looked moving for a bit man before he laid the lumber.
Here's Hall trying to get to the edge. And Hassan Hall into the end zone. His first rushing score of the year. Comes with 1:37 to play here in the first period.
There's a lot more where that came from. This guy can fly. Hassan Hall. Second touchdown of the day for Louisville. A little bit of holding on that edge, but I guess some for you, some for us. Tommy Sweeney didn't get called earlier on the BC touchdown, and that time they were holding Zach Allen. He was yanked backwards and unable to go and set that edge.
3-yard run by Hall. Creaky's point after good. Within a point now are the Cards, and another look.
Here. Watch down here. Watch, you're going to see Allen try to get outside. He's pulled back, and then, but that's the way they're letting him play on the offensive line now. That to me is one of the ways how much the game of football has changed. But not to take anything away from the good job of the blocking by the receivers down the field, and of course the speed to get to that corner, get it in the paint for Hassan Hall.
3-yard run by Hall, the freshman from Maynard Jackson High School in Atlanta. Very quickly, a look at the Atlantic standings. We told you, of course, the tough loss in Raleigh last week. BC's at level par. Louisville is winless in 3 league games. Clemson and NC State have that bye at the top, James, before they go to battle next Saturday in the Upstate. And, of course, Syracuse is off this week. Florida State is off this week as well. End over end kick, and here is Walker again. Looking at the right side, Michael Walker out across the 30 and quickly to the 35, 36-yard line. 27-yard return by Walker. After Louisville has taken 2 turnovers, run 9 plays, and tied the game at 14. Next Saturday, we are headed up to Wallace Wade Outdoor Stadium in Durham, James. We'll get a look at Daniel Jones and Olamide Zaccheaus. 12:30 our coverage starts.
Should be a pretty good one. Yeah, Duke's got a big one today against Georgia Tech. Be an interesting game.
Blue Devils are up, by the way, 7-0. 1-point game here.
You gave him that extra point now, 14-13.
1-point game. Here's Brown. He'll have to throw it away on the bootleg. And a look ahead to next Saturday in Durham with Jordan Ellis and Dylan Singleton for their respective schools.
What time's that Clemson NC State? We gonna be able to call this one and go watch the go watch the other 2 get after it too?
I think we might miss the first couple of series there.
All right.
There's Glines. He'll pick up right at 6, almost 7 on second down. And Rebecca Ben-Glines has been a nice find in the running back spot in the absence of Dillon.
He sure has. And the plays we've seen him make today are a perfect example of coaches putting him in the right position schematically. Glines said every week he and the backs watch film with their coaches. The coaches ask the players what type of runs they like that week based on the defense they're prepping to face. And he says, you know what, he just sees things differently than the other back. So good job on the coaches there.
Well, third down play, and C.J. Avery back in the lineup, a big lick.
Welcome back, C.J. Avery. Are you kidding me? Watch him blow up this lead blocker, and I mean blow him right into the lap of Ben Glines. And just like that, you've got a Boston College offense that tried to go fast again, and they get a 3-and-out. Now they're going to put it back in the hands of Louisville. That defense is going to be forced to step right back out there. We saw too much of this against NC State.
And we got movement. Was that Boston College?
Snap infraction. Number 46, offense.
Yep.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's a long snapper, Jimmy Martin. So the unforced error on Boston College and teams. Rajay Burns is deep to take this kick now from Grant Carlson. Now Burns is second in the ACC and 9th nationally at 16.5 yards a return. He went 55 against Indiana State for a touchdown. Cards to within a point. Low kick. Burns trying to sneak here to the near side, and Martin does a nice job holding on and pulling him down right about the 25-yard line. 41-yard punt, a 4-yard return.
Here's that punt return. Good job. The cover teams have been good for Boston College here today. It's I can't wait to get a replay of that. C.J. Avery. That's the kind of stuff to me that gets me jazzed and lets me feel like football's still football, because they'll never call a targeting on a linebacker just stepping up, reading and reacting and lighting up a big offensive lineman and blowing up a play.
Pass wants to throw on first down. Looking out the backside, there's Hall. And Hassan Hall going to roll out for 9 yards to the 35-yard line. Tajamir Torres, the stop for Boston College. Eagles got off to a running start. They led 14-0, but 2 fumbles have been cashed in for scores. Louisville to within a point after a period of play at Chestnut Hill. 1-point ball game as we go to quarter 2. You see the difference in the game at the bottom of our game summary, James. The 2 turnovers by BC on kick returns and the block extra point.
Well, and that's the story. That's what BC wasn't able to take advantage of, the 2 turnovers in the red zone, interceptions by 50.
Whoa! Oh, my goodness, Marcus Riley. And Zach Allen is rolling out the orientation program.
A jet sweep. It's a jet sweep them up. Get the dustpan now.
Man. Does that get you fueled up too, Batesy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had the C.J. Avery play, and then, just the simple play by McDuffie earlier and Zach Allen.
Pass, looking to throw. Intercepted, Ham Cheevers. 6th career interception, 4th of the year for Cheevers.
Ham Cheevers watches this all the way. They bring the bodies. The blitz is there. And a great job by Cheevers to jump in front of the Puma pass throw for the big pick. What a big turnover for BC. And it was Ham Cheevers, remember, last year that had the big strip that Cameron Moore, who was talking with Rebecca earlier, that he picked up. Cheevers with a big forced turnover in that close game. And here's a big one to get things going the Eagles' way.
Glines fighting for yards. James, remember, Louisville got 9 yards on first down. On second down was the play by Allen to take down Riley, and on third down, the turnover. How about that?
Absolutely, and here goes Glines and company right back at it. Nice pickup for BC on first down, and they're quickly over the ball.
Glines trying to get to the edge. Picks a spot, first down, flag thrown. That might be a hold.
Offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Aaron Montero, the left tackle.
Here's one more look at it, number 4 here. You know, and it was the hands, the bigger body. Those receivers gave him fits last week in good position. Jalen Smith, a lot bigger, tries to separate. He does, but Cheevers comes right back at it. Defensive back from Trenton, Florida, one of 9 Floridians on this team, a state champ back there at the Trenton Tigers. Probably the motivational talk that James Bates had with that team back in the high school days.
Here's Brown, a little throwback, and Levy was the intended receiver, but it's incomplete, so it becomes 3rd and long. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Motivational talk?
It's right there by Gainesville.
Sir.
Yeah, and, you know, they want the best when they're going for the state title. So
Is that right?
They brought in the heavy hitter in Batesy. Yeah, some good kids there, though, man. Great town, and there's a nice job by Brown to keep this one in. Could have been a disaster.
Third. Louisville showing blitz here on Anthony Brown. They only bring 3. Out in the flat, that's Levy the catch, and down to about the 27. And leave them about 5 shy. Now, Eagles don't have what they would call the most confident kick game.
Well, they've got a good kicker in Lichtenberg, who's hit some game winners in his career, but he's been injured, and they worry about the leg strength, so they're gonna.
He was 33 yards last week at NC State in his first try of the year. So they're not going to try 43 here. They're going to go for it on 4th and 5. Out the back door, Levy beyond his reach, and a flag thrown from here in front of the BC bench toward the middle of the field. D. Smith was in coverage. Oh, boy.
No, that's not what that flag is about.
I don't think so either.
There's no foul on the play. Result of the play, first down Louisville.
And it's a nice job. They've done a good job in coverage. This Louisville secondary. Smith right there in trail. Smith being tight there forced that Anthony Brown ball to have a little bit of air underneath it. And you get the alligator arms out there when you know you've got the headhunters. Levy not able to quite extend out all the way to pull it back in. So how about this Louisville D?
Yep.
Interception by Hamp Cheevers. And unlike this Louisville team, they got one on the goal line, but they've got 13 points off of turnovers. Nothing to show for after the big pick.
Pass. And a great catch, and that's Fitzpatrick stepping out of bounds up the far side near the 44-yard line. And that'll be a throw right at about 17 and a first down.
There you go. A nice job to just motor it down there. And that zone coverage, and the only guy that's anywhere near is a linebacker, Kevin Bletcher.
Pass will keep it. Scramble to the outside. Bobby Petrino told us, James, a little more run put in the playbook this week for Puma pass. That's 14 yards.
That's a nice looking ball play there. It's, you've got Lucas Dennis out there in coverage, and he reads, hey, there's a run, but he's also got to take care of his coverage responsibility, and he's really the only defender. But you danged if you do, danged if you don't.
Yep.
He comes at it, and it's an easy dump-off pass on the RPO for Puma pass. They're starting to click right now for the Cards offensively.
Absolutely. They trail a point with 3 minutes gone, second period. Pass, lobbing one near side. Dawkins can't come up with it. Cheevers, who had the pick, was in coverage of Seth Dawkins.
Maybe not quite the drops from earlier, but this was one that absolutely you have to catch if you guys want to turn it back around. It's a nice route run. It's a nice job of lining up. So many times you see these receivers line up too tight to the sidelines, and they don't have that pattern. They don't have that 4 yards to where that fade can drop in there and give you some room to run it. Hamp Cheevers, on the other hand, he's got to put a body on there. There cannot be that much separation in coverage in that situation. But a nice ball thrown by pass.
From the tight end in motion, and this is Hall working back toward the 38-yard line, and Strahan the tackle, Rebecca.
You guys talking about Louisville starting to click offensively. Well, Jawan Puma-Pass told me this week he feels like he's starting to really click. He said he's progressing as the season goes on. He's getting more and more comfortable from each game, and maybe it goes back to just competing behind Lamar Jackson for those years. He said, the one thing I learned is never quit, and he said, I cannot describe how badly we want to win today's game.
Well, so far so good. The Cards have withstood an early flurry by BC.
This is what Jim Reed was telling us yesterday. When Louisville checks in third down nickel situation, we're going to check.
Past the keeper and the first down. Inside the 30 to the 29 on a 9-yard run, James.
We sat down with Jim Reed yesterday, and after our sit-down, he pulled us into his office. And he said, look, this is the cut-up I've made from the last couple years. Lamar Jackson, third down and long. We've got him. We're going to get off the field. And it is this very situation that he just crushed them the last couple years on. They do it again here. Big play.
The overthrow of Dawkins with Cheevers in coverage. And it was Will Harris helping at safety, but Ham Cheevers was the principal guy.
And that's what happens when that quarterback can be so effective and do so much damage, tucking the football and running it in what turns out to be a designed run play. That's not a scramble and let me go try to make something happen. He tucks it. There's nothing there. He's going to tuck it and go. And then you've got your nickel personnel defensively. So you're a little bit weaker to defend against that run. And Bobby Petrino has exploited that the last couple years against this BC defense. And Jim Reed reminded his guys all week long of that very play.
Ball trying to get to the edge, and he will be close to the first down. Brandon Sebastian playing a lot today in the sub package. Made the stop at the 21. 8-yard play, though, James. Third and short.
Talk about the tide turning. I mean, 14-0 before they could even sit down here at Alumni Stadium. And Louisville, a couple big turnovers. And now they're charging down, looking to take their first lead of the day.
That's Hall, first down. And I think Rebecca's point a moment ago, how about the confidence of number 4 at the quarterback spot?
Well, number 4 and having some guys that can scoot and run the football for you, too. That certainly helps. There's the big lick by McDuffie, the linebacker. Yeah, I like watching Hall run. Young guy.
Pass to the end zone. And there'll be a flag thrown on a ball intended for Jalen Smith. And Brandon Sebastian defending. Here's Dave Epperly.
Pass interference on the defense, number 10. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
You know, and that just comes with reps. I mean, it's Sebastian, look at him. He's in there. They're both hand fighting a little bit. Now snap that head around. Snap it around. You got to trust it. You got to trust it. And you just can't run past. You almost get a sense he was so worried that he was going to run past and get hit with that back shoulder that he refused to turn that head around. But you snap that head around. Those eyes get big by that receiver. Snap that head around. But just don't lose that feel. Don't let him separate too much where he can come away.
Here's pass on the keeper, and Louisville takes the lead. 19 straight by the Cards, James.
You know what's interesting right now is last Friday night, this is a Louisville defense that things started working for Georgia Tech, and they all started working. Right now, at this point in this game, see how things are coming together and things are working. Play action pass, the handoff, the read for the quarterback. Sometimes a lot of people will compare, is that extra point is good? A lot of people will compare to some of those old triple option type teams. And that's the right choice, and a great job on the edge. Puma-Pass and the Cards on top now. How about that?
20 in a row by the Cards. They lead BC by 6. We welcome you back to Chestnut Hill Alumni Stadium on a homecoming Saturday. Overcast, some rain. We finally got some fall weather for you, Batesy.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, cooled off big for our visit here. Fielded by Walker at the 5. Michael Walker trying to skip through a hole, gets to about the 22. Got pushed back there. And the Louisville tackle made by Yasir Abdullah. James?
That's my guy.
Yep.
X-Man's son.
9:31 to play. Back after this.
Welcome back to Alumni Stadium here in Boston. Louisville on top of the Eagles 20-14. And after that final touchdown we just saw from Louisville, how about this sideline? Fired up. The guys dancing around, high-fiving, lots of smiles, even from Coach Petrino, who's very cool, calm, and collected usually. We saw some emotion from him too, guys.
All right, Rebecca. David Bailey's coming at the running back spot. True freshman gets the ball. And young man, 6'1", 235 out of Ridley, Maryland, who Steve Adazio told us yesterday, well, he's a thumper. He called him a thumper.
Well, that's the thumper they need. That's the A.J. Dillon who can thump and can also speed it up a little bit, too.
Boy, Bailey just drives the Cards out to the 31. It'll be 3rd and short. Now, this is a whole different kettle of fish from Ben Glines carrying the rock, James.
Well, it is, and that's why when you have a Glines, you have an A.J. Dillon. Even here in this case, David Bailey and Glines, it's a nice 1-2 punch.
There goes Anthony Brown for 4 on the sneak. Trying to sneak for 1, ends up sneaking for 4. 1st and 10 BC, who's staying with the tempo game, James, despite the 6-point deficit here in the second.
Which is key. They had to get out of that tempo game last week, and it really kind of put them in a funk in the first half. They're right back over it now, though.
Jeff Smith on the little reverse, and he'll be close to another 1st down. Now, Jeff Smith is an interesting little element in the offense for Scott Loeffler.
He certainly is. It's even BC fans remember. It's not like just like he was a high school quarterback. He was a quarterback here. Took a lot of snaps at BC. So a situation like that, you've got to go. Even if you go into the halftime locker room, Brian Van Gorder, this defensive staff, sometimes you're trying to set something up too when you get him wide, because he has turned and thrown the football down the field many times in his career.
Play fake here by Brown. Shoots it back inside. That's Tommy Sweeney to the 49. It'll be 2nd and about 8 from there as Dorian Etheridge has another tackle. Boy, the Cards really missed Etheridge when he was out with injury, but he's had 15 tackles in their last 2 ball games coming into today.
Just a sophomore, but he's the guy that coaches call, leader of these linebackers.
Here's Glines trying to sweep. Boy, nice play. Ball popped loose, but he was already ruled down. Rajay Burns got in there to knock him out, huh?
Excellent job by Rajay Burns, who can really fly. Obviously, when you've got a great big body like John Baker that's coming at you, boom, watch. You see him coming underneath. Maybe it wasn't John Baker, but it was his teammate right there leading the way. You don't want to take on that guy. You're going to get run over like a squirrel in the road. So you go low. He rolls the dice a little bit, but comes up big time with the play.
Calling procedure on Sweeney, I believe, here.
False start. Offense, number 19.
No, Glines,
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So Glines went forward and did not. He came set and then went forward, and that caused the penalty, apparently. You like BC in tempo better, right, James?
There you see, there's kind of helped him out. He was going to look kind of ugly if he kept leaning. So it's a 3rd down and 10.
There's the throw back to the tight end again. 4th down and about 4.
I think you got to punt it away right here. I'm not middle of the field.
Well, now here comes Carlson in the punt unit.
They thought about it, but it's, the way that Louisville has been rolling, make them go the length of the field. Prove that they're going to go a full football game taking care of that football. They've already thrown 1 interception. They've had a tough time hanging on to it. Don't give them the short field and the easy way to go if you don't get it on the field.
Carlson's punt, end over end. Burns going to run off from it, and in fact it hits on the backside of the field from 20 yards away from him, inside the 20. Under 6 to go now. First half action, Louisville 20 in a row has a 6-point lead. Well, Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts is where we are today. Atlantic Division of the ACC, and Louisville has scored the last 20 points in the ball game to turn a disastrous start into a 6-point lead, James.
Well, a disastrous 4 quarters plus going back to the Georgia Tech game.
Yep.
A much-needed turnaround.
Play fake by pass. Trying to step up in the pocket, and he'll be sacked. Kevin Bletzer, the linebacker, I believe. No. Carafa.
Nice job here. You know you've got the 2 ends that can get there. It's in Wyatt Ray and Zach Allen. The middle, though. What do you got in the middle? Well, there's not much push there, but Carafa does a good job of keeping that offensive lineman at bay. Don't get tangled up with them. Keep separation, shuck them, and they'll go bring down the quarterback.
Inside 5.5 to go in the opening frame. The rain has stopped. The sun looks like it's trying to maybe come out here at Alumni Stadium on a homecoming Saturday outside of Boston. That's Kamari Everett, the tight end. And pass, fake the handoff, and Zach Allen has been everywhere in this first half. Loss of 5, James.
Well, playing in the backfield immediately. Speaking of using your hands, look at Zach Allen get rid of the blocker. And then you know what? You shouldn't have to say it, but how about the job? Watch Carafa. Watch 48 come in here. How many times you see a guy just take his head off? Hey, he holds up. Guys are starting to learn. Hey, you don't want to cost your team. You don't want to give them a free first down. You don't want to miss the rest of this football game. Good play by Zach Allen. Back-to-back big plays. Now, know where those sticks are. Keep everything in front of you.
Pass to throw. Underneath, here's Hall, and he will get to the 20 and no more. Cheevers and Torres were there collectively for the Eagles. Nice job covering down the field. And then, hey, yeah, go ahead, dump it off underneath. We'll break on the ball. Excellent vice angles. Good coach in Anthony Campanelli. The co-defensive coordinator, as Jim Reed calls him. And an outstanding young football coach is the leader of this secondary. Coached him up right there on that series, and they get off of the football field. That was a big 3 and out. Chance for Michael Walker maybe here. Mason King to punt. BC could get good field position. They get a block instead. Levy going to score again for the second week in a row. Travis Levy recovers a block punt in the end zone after Nolan Borgerson blocked it. Boy, they bring the house. If it wasn't the first guy, it could have been the second or third. Take your pick. Takes it right off of his foot. And Borgerson with the block, and that's back-to-back weeks. Mike Palmer it was last weekend that had the big block, with Levy recovering it against NC State. So just like last week, they blocked one off the kicker's foot and now off the punter's foot. And just like that, the Eagles are back in front. Travis Levy's going to quit running after the punter. He's just going to run in the end zone. Yeah, go wait for it. Here comes that scene of Boston College, maroon and gold, the old school gold, getting it done on special teams. We take the lead. Here's Borgerson. Here's Palmer. All right, it's a block. It's a block. And you know what happens. But you got to, if you're Louisville, you got to get a piece of something. Because then it becomes 6 on 2. Who's going to win that? I'm not great at math, but 6 is better than 2. But you got to release, and you got to go down and cover. But first things first, you got to get a piece of someone. You can't just let them run free. Kick will be short. Here's Hall, and a fair catch call for. So he'll get it at the 25, and so will the Cards. And that's it. I mean, look at all the guys that just completely whiff, and they're already down the field. And looking back over your shoulder doesn't help. That's what they call a watch-out block on offense. Like, watch out, because here they come. And you've got to slow them down because there's only 2 guys there. They're at that last wave of defense, the level of defense. And there's a look at Ricky Brown, the outside linebacker coach. More importantly, the special teams coordinator for this squad that is blocked now. Punts in back-to-back weeks and scored touchdowns off of those blocks. Blocked an extra point today. That's why Louisville has the 20 up there and a field goal last week. Pass to throw, sacked. Wyatt Ray. who is the grandson of the legendary crooner Nat King Cole, James.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here's Wyatt right here. Again, just like early in the game, it's going to be a little bit of a delay. He doesn't even have to come inside this time, and there's nobody there to put a body on him.
Is it too cheap to say Cardinals roasting over an open fire?
Oh, that's good. I like that.
That's from 6 years of working with you.
I'm kind of jealous. I would say I was before you threw out that Nat King Cole, I was stuck on Wyatt. I keep going in my head Tombstone with Doc Holliday. Why Wyatt? I am rolling.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm your Huckleberry. Either way, however you want to put it. Man, a couple big sacks for Wyatt Ray, and this time, the first time that we saw it in the first quarter, early in the first quarter on that first series, it was a delayed blitz. He came in from the edge. This time, there's just nobody there to block him. So it's back-to-back now. If you count that punt times, they've got to get hands on these guys.
Saw Trey Smith leave the game. He's come back in at the running back spot. He'll take a pass out in the flat, and boy, nice tackle. That's Sebastian. Brandon Sebastian playing a bigger role today for Boston College. Remember last week we saw Elijah Jones in the secondary. Today it's been the sure tackling of Sebastian. And a quick timeout called here on third down. Honda Generator presents our big hits, James.
Well, they've come often. I mean, just guys flying around. We saw the big one just now by Sebastian and going down low. A very physical matchup. You got some big offensive linemen there for Louisville in a pretty physical defensive front. Zach Allen and company there for BC.
I got to tell you, Louisville has done a nice job matching BC's physicality. This is maybe not their forte.
Absolutely. They didn't really want any part of the style of ball that they got from Georgia Tech last week, but that's a good point. And the Red Sox fans saying, hey, save some of those hits for the Sox later.
Here's pass, third and very long now for the Cards. Dump out here in the flat. This is the speedy freshman Hall. And taken down about the 25. That's back toward the original line. And another 3 and out for the Cards.
All got tangled up with the coach's headset over on the sidelines. And that's back-to-back third downs now. Third and longs. Where it's, you haven't let anything go past you. Good coverage down the field. You force pass to dump it off down underneath. You break up on the ball. You get off the field.
Eagles maybe try for another one here, James. They've had.
Hey, do it till they stop it.
Yep, sure do. Wobbly kick toward Walker. Fielding it at the hash mark. Bumps into his own guy. And fights to the 40-41. Still pretty good field position, though, for Boston College. 38-yard punt, just a 4-yard return. And the 7th possession offensively for the Eagles will begin off their 40 here. And you see the timeline, 2:41 to go. Boston College has 2 timeouts, and James, of note, they get the ball to start the second half. This is a pretty important drive then for Anthony Brown in the offense, and Travis Levy has come in as the running back with Brown here. That's Walker in motion. He'll get the carry on the sweep and pick up about 3, and Dorian Etheridge another tackle. Boy, they've had some really good Mike linebackers. Of course, Keith Kelsey was there. Etheridge had a big year a season ago as a freshman. We've seen Robert Hicks have a big night. 11 tackles in their win against Western Kentucky. They've got some good, tough middle linebackers. Here's Walker on a throw from Brown. He'll be near a first down, maybe a yard or so shy for third down. Brian Van Gorder's unit, though, on the whole, very young. My goodness. Maybe one of the youngest units, certainly in the ACC, but maybe in college football as well. David Bailey back in here for third and short.
Young, but very capable.
Yep.
They just can't get too frustrated when things aren't going their way.
Bailey, straight ahead, first down and more for the freshman. That looks like a guy that had 35 touchdowns as a senior. James, the #1 tailback in Maryland, got 11 yards there, David Bailey.
Well, David Bailey getting a chance here today. Watch big Chris Lindstrom pave the way. Aaron Montero as well. And remember, it was A.J. Dillon against Louisville a year ago when he had his big breakout day.
Brown looking to throw, taking the deep shot. Walker overthrown. Jacopo in coverage, the Californian who was shaken up in the Western Kentucky game and has just worked his way back into the lineup after an injury. So it'll be second down and 10. Levy returns to the lineup now at the running back spot. Or BC really mixing and matching. Jeff Smith has come in as a wide receiver, as has Kobe White, who has yet to have a catch today. And now flag for procedure, and I think that is going to be on Hunter Long, the tight end, maybe.
Number 85.
No,
5-yard penalty.
Adreese. It's on Korab Adreese, the tight end, Rebecca.
Guys, an important series here. Quarterback Anthony Brown gathered his offense around, gave him a pep talk. He's been talking tempo all day, but last time out he told his guys, enough, let's get out there, score 7 points, and he repeated that several times for emphasis.
Second down and long with 89 seconds left. Brown, and the catch made. Adreese, first down to the 29.5. 17-yard throw.
It was Adreese on the procedure penalty. One for you, 15 for me. That was a nicely thrown football there by Anthony Brown, and he's putting it on. He's putting them on the money.
Yep.
Here today when he needs to.
And now Louisville a timeout. They have all three remaining. So they'll have 2 more to go. This ball game has been really kind of marred by turnovers, but in a way where both teams have tried to take advantage of them, James.
Yeah, they've gone back and forth here, and that's something new for Louisville. They're forcing some. They're getting some of their own. Here's the interception that Hamp Cheevers had that BC was unable to do with just a short while ago. But a couple costly ones for Steve Adazio's team. Ben Glines fumbling it right near the goal line. It took 4 plays, but Malik Cunningham stretching it in on that 4th down and goal for the first touchdown for these Louisville Cardinals after they quickly went down 14-0. Bobby Petrino wanting that timeout here. Just regroup his young unit. Let's get off this football field. Let's hold them right here. 1-point lead for Boston College at halftime. It's got to feel pretty good after that fast start that they had.
Brown to throw. Looking for the end zone, and incomplete. Intended, I think, for Smith. Louisville had Anthony Johnson in coverage.
He can't break away. It looked like, okay, I think maybe it was a little bit back and forth from up here. It looked like it was one big tangle up.
Yeah.
And there are 2 officials sitting right there. They wanted a flag, but they didn't get it. But I think it was a little bit of both ways there on that one. So incomplete, second down and 10 now.
Bailey to the 26. 70 seconds to go. Michael Boykin, who's started to get more and more valuable snaps for the Cards in their defensive line to stop. 3rd down and 8. And procedure again. Adreese.
Yes, you go from a 3rd down and 8 to now it's going to be a 3rd down and 13, making it even more difficult. And you factor in the field goal range too. And you got to be careful too. You want to go fast. You want to go tempo. Keep them off their on the heels of their feet there defensively. But at the same time, remember, there's some studs over on that other side of the Boston Weapons that can beat you deep and can score in a hurry. You also don't want to give them too much time left on the clock.
There's no foul on the play. Louisville called timeout before the ball was snapped. Timeout, Louisville, their second 30-second timeout.
All right.
And there's the rub. It's Louisville's calling that timeout because they're not sure. They're not set. And that's why you go tempo. That's why against a team like this, they're young. Everything's new to them. And look at these offenses that they faced the last few weeks. We had them at Virginia. You know, and then
Right.
you've got a Florida State game that they play in. They play so tough. And Georgia Tech. You got Georgia Tech last week, and that was part of the reason Rebecca hit on the contrast in the way they played. Off the top of the show, how Bobby Petrino showed his defense first 4 series at Georgia Tech. Now here's the Florida State game. Not only so they could see the difference in the intensity that they played with, which is, hey, we're back to somewhat regular football again. Because that's such an anomaly, and it really beat them up and got them thinking a little bit differently last week. Wanted to make sure they're back in check.
3rd and 8. And it's caught. That's Levy, but still very short of the first down at the 21. About a 3-yard difference to the mark, and right away, Steve Adazio with 35 seconds left. He does have 1 timeout left. He could probably just take this clock down and then maybe try a field goal, James.
Again, it's, you know,
going to be right about 38 yards.
Where is his kicker that's just coming off an injury? Where is he with his leg strength? That's kind of the unknown from up here. And when Adazio he's not waiting to decide. He's just waiting for that clock to tick down, make sure he doesn't leave too much room. But but looking at it this way, he's going to send Lichtenberg out there and give it a try. So we're about to find out how that. I believe it was like a hip and groin type of thing with Lichtenberg, and that's why he's not kicking off anymore, because of that strong strike that it takes to kick it off.
His career best is 43 as a freshman. He had a 42-yarder a year ago. And this is going to be 38. His only field goal of the year came last week in Raleigh at 33. This is a senior from Savannah, Georgia, who has been through ups and downs. In his Eagle career. Jeff Smith holds. And now Bobby Petrino will burn his final timeout with just 9 seconds left.
Ice, Bobby.
What a momentum half this has been, right?
Bobby, too cold.
Is that right?
Cold.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, how about from when you don't have a dog in the fight and you can sit up here and just enjoy some football. I mean, it's been an interesting first half to call, and it's going to be a dogfight in the second half. 14-0 Boston College. Louisville scores 20 in a row. They get touchdowns on the 2 fumbles by Adazio's team. The momentum for BC comes on a blocked punt. It's recovered in the end zone for the 2nd week in a row by Travis Levy, and now a chance for the Eagles to extend it here going to the locker room and get the ball to start the half. Lichtenberg, kick away. And good. 38-yard field goal with 4 seconds left. Eagles happy to have that guy back out there. Look at all the hugs for Lichtenberg.
9 plays, 39 yards, and 237. And Louisville and BC both out of timeouts for what will more than likely be just the final play of the first half here. Longman has come out to kick it away to the Cards.
Yeah, BC needs to make sure they cover like they have early in this game, though. They've got some dangerous return men.
Yep.
Hassan Hall can go. Got to bottle them up before you head into the locker room.
And, in fact, Longman's just going to fire it down the field, and it bounced away. Clock is running, and that'll be the final play of the half. It's expired. Hall will try and work back here to the near side and reroute, and look out! Hassan Hall, only the kicker to beat, around the corner and tripped up at the 45. Longman got a hand in there. Okay, Batesy.
Well, that's a pretty good job by the kicker. I told you, Hassan Hall, make it interesting. Just skating around and A couple guys had a chance at it, and he changed his direction.
Well, Hassan Hall tripped up by Longman. Let's go downstairs. Rebecca's got our Honda dealers in the Carolinas Coaches Corner with Bobby Petrino.
Thank you, Wes. Coach, kind of a wacky game so far. Your D's made some big plays, and your offense really got rolling there, too. But what's the key to getting some separation in the second half?
Yeah, we can't take sacks and negative yards offensively. As long as we're moving forward, we'll keep moving the ball and go get the ball in the end zone. And defensively, we're hanging in there. You know, we didn't do a good job in the first quarter moving the ball. We put the defense in bad position.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right.
Guys.
Rebecca, thanks. Stay tuned. Hardy's ACC halftime report from our studios. Coming up next, 24-20. BC, the halftime lead. Toyota Tweet of the Week came from BC football. Be part of the action. Cheer the Eagles from inside the halftime fan tunnel. And that's where we find Rebecca Capel with Steve Adazio.
All right, Coach. Momentum seems really tough to come by so far in this game, but your team finishes out the first half scoring 10 points, takes the lead, and you get the ball in the second. How do you capitalize on that?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to limit the mistakes right now. We spotted 14 points. We got to get rid of the silly penalties and just keep playing our level of football right now, playing fast, playing physical. We're doing that up front right now and regain momentum permanently.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks to Adazio.
At least she got him this time. Last week, he ran right by her. She reminded him at our meeting yesterday.
Hard to guard.
I was focused, he said.
Yeah. Well, he mentioned silly penalties. And, James, they've had some unforced errors and some unforced penalties that have created the problem. To live to tell about it, though, and lead by 4 at the half makes a premium on this possession.
Well, in momentum. Momentum, not just huge plays momentum. We talked about it earlier with Louisville. Extra points, 5-yard penalties. All the little things add up.
Michael Walker at the goal line. 20, flipped out over the 25, 26, 27-yard line, and that'll bring Anthony Brown back out, 10 of 15 for 120 yards in the first half, James.
Yeah, taking care of the football and hitting a couple that he had to hit. Hunter Long, the touchdown. It's there. It's, you know, it may seem simple, but if you didn't watch first half last week, you wouldn't quite understand. A couple that were there, needed to be there, and it helps not only the team and the energy and the momentum for this football team, but the confidence for a young quarterback still, even though he's played a lot of ball. And here are the first half stats. Still those turnovers, both of them coming on fumbles, and the 13 points scored off of it by Louisville. Pretty big. Adazio mentioned that to Rebecca just moments ago.
David Bailey gets the start at the running back spot here in the beginning of the second half. Bailey's now got about 27 yards, 28 yards on just 6 carries. And very quickly, here's Boston College lining up. Jeff Smith on the sweep. Cuts the edge and out to the 36. Third and about 2 coming up. James, we've got a very interesting chess match when BC has the ball. Scott Leffler and Brian Van Gorder were together at Auburn. And they're matching wits here today. BC's OC and the Cardinals' first-year defensive coordinator.
Sometimes it's about those chess pieces, too. So you may have how you want to play the game, but it changes with the players.
There's Brown to Tommy Sweeney. That'll give Boston College a first down at the 40. And before the game, Lefty and BVG got together and able to spend a few minutes together. Jacopo, the tackle for Louisville. There the guys are. It was funny in our visits yesterday. Leffler said, I know what he wants to do. He knows what I want to do. And Van Gorder didn't deny any of that. Said, yeah, we got a pretty good feel for one another. But you're right about the personnel also factors into the schemes.
Here comes Etheridge for Van Gorder. Just running through, go make the play. You know, it's read it, react. You know, sometimes guys will go through there and don't have the speed to take that kind of angle. But He obviously does.
Brown under a little bit of pressure now. Got to get out of there, and he'll pick up a yard. It'll still be 3rd and long. That's a nice play. Peterson, the defensive end, the redshirt sophomore, stayed with that one.
Yeah, and it's this is an Anthony Brown a year ago, and it was about this time last year, midway through the season, when he really came on too. But he came on with his legs. And still looking, even, remember, he had that ACL surgery in the offseason. Still looking for him to break it out with those legs.
Brown shoots it back here to the near side. It'll be close to the first down. C.J. Lewis, 6'4" sophomore, the catch, just his 9th of the year. And it's 4th and short, and Boston College going for it.
This is going to be a big one right there at midfield. A little pigtail route coming in there, and they'll hold them up because BC made some substitutions. So Louisville allowed to match. Now they're trying to get lined up. 4th and a yard.
Anthony Brown had to break the 50. Left foot, right foot spot differential here. If he broke the 50, he'll have it, and he did. Looked like Garrison, the extra tight end, trying to help out. In fact, he shoved Brown.
You can do that now. For a while there, that was illegal.
Little sprint out. Brown thought about turning it up. James, were they leveling routes to that wide side there for Anthony Brown?
Trying to. A good job by Louisville taking it away, not giving them anywhere to go, and a good job by Brown. Hey, just eat it. 2-yard gain. Heck of a lot better than forcing one in there and getting a turnover.
Levy on the toss to the boundary side. Travis Levy inside the 35.
This is what can get you when you go tempo. When everybody's ready, everybody on the same page offensively, watch the big bodies. We've got more big bodies than you've got defenders, just mowing them down on the edge, and it gives Levy a chance to get going. Hey, if you're not set, you're not ready for the tempo, defensively it can be a nightmare.
Here's Levy trying to reroute on the counter and picks up a couple more. Etheridge, another stop. Yeah, that sweep to the boundary side featured Ben Petrula out there, paving road for Steve Adazio. Almost 4 minutes gone here in the 3rd period. BC on the opening drive of the 2nd half. This is their 11th play here.
High back. Quarterback under center.
Bailey, left side. Big fella. Inside the 10. David Bailey, a touchdown. There's a flag back at the 31.
Yeah, it's going to come back. It was Chris Garrison, I believe, tight end.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It'll negate the TD run.
Call it on Montero. 81 was in there as well. But either way, somebody's going to get tackled. See it right there? Boom. Face mask could have gone in there as well. Boom. It was 81 after all. It was Garrison. They call it on Montero, but there you see that other look at it. There's another hold, 53. He could have got a couple of flags. So that's one way or another. That's the right call. It's a shame the youngster, the freshman, getting going.
Brown rips it across and broken up on the way to Garrison. I think that was C.J. Avery, the weak side linebacker. So now 3rd and long, facing Boston College here.
You know, we've talked about it. We've talked about the youth on Brian Van Gorder's defense, and it's shown up in flashes. I mean, Avery's a sophomore. Etheridge is a sophomore. These guys are playmakers. It's a nice play against the pass right there and force a 3rd down and very long.
Brown, and he'll be sacked. Caban gets the sack of Anthony Brown back in midfield. What a big play by Louisville defensively.
Well, how about Caban? Watch 53 here, and watch him just muscle. Use those hands. You get some strength. You separate, and when you separate, that's when you use the momentum of that offensive lineman coming back at you to rip and swim, get past him, and gets just enough of Anthony Brown to get his defense a big stop.
Here's the punt. Trying to pin Burns, and it will bounce into the end zone. So Boston College moved it to around the midfield area, plus territory, had a TD call back. 10 minutes in, still a 4-point lead for the Eagles. 24-20 after the sack by Caban. Louisville will start off its 20 when play continues. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Which current NFL head coach and 3-time Super Bowl winner has a son on BC's roster? I'll say this. There are a lot of notable footballers on the Eagle roster.
Is it Nat King Cole?
No, that's his grandson plays.
Shoot, I was way off.
But he's not a current NFL head coach or Super Bowl winner. Hassan Hall. Handoff from Puma pass. And boy, Hall stuck with it. Got, I think, 5 on the play.
Hey, Hassan Hall, he's a tough dude.
Yeah.
He's fast. He's light. I mean, he's supposed to be a speedster, but he finishes. He finishes. Now, he had a big fumble in second quarter, I believe, of the FSU game, and at an important spot. So he's got to be careful when he does finish. But he brings a load when he finishes for a lighter guy.
Play fake by pass. Looking here near side, that's big Kamari Everett. He'll be short of the first down at the 29-yard line. Kamari Everett's a load, 6'6", 270 from Atlanta.
You know, one thing that they've done a good job, Louisville, when they get on the run, they put Puma on the run, they take the ends, their rush game out of it a little bit. When you've got Wyatt Ray and Zach Allen, if you sit back there in that pocket all day, they're going to eventually get to you. But by putting them on the run, it's helped them quite a bit.
And Zach Allen's got another one.
No help there.
None. He tackled Hassan Hall and then maybe even Puma pass on a throw-in. Goodness gracious, what a day Allen's had.
It just eats him up. It makes up his mind as soon as that ball snapped.
He had Hall and he started taking down pass just for fun.
Swallows him up. Here's a hint for your Aflac trivia question.
Yeah.
Some of that technique, not necessarily the get off because some of it's uncoachable, was taught by the answer to that Aflac trivia question. Yeah. And it's not Nat King Cole. It's a big stop for the defense on 3rd and short.
Sure is. 3 and out goes Louisville. Here's Walker. Backing up, looked like he might have misjudged it. Now shoots through. Look out! Michael Walker gets by King, the punter, and they're in Louisville territory for their second possession. 46-yard punt, 32-yard return by Walker. His best of the year. Back after this.
24-20, Boston College on top in the 3rd quarter here at Alumni Stadium. And running back A.J. Dillon may not be playing today, but he's been very involved on the sidelines in all the huddles, offering his teammates advice. Last week, he couldn't even make the trip to Raleigh, so he sent the offense a text before the game to get them amped up, but they're certainly happy to have him back out here today.
Well, and you see the impact A.J. Dillon has. BC plus field start, and here's Bailey again, trying to fill that void, and he got 12 on first down. Well, James, you mentioned it at the top. Steve Adazio yesterday. A.J. Dillon, a generational player, but boy, David Bailey's thumping it good now, huh?
Absolutely. He's good looking back, the freshman.
And got to the second level pretty quick there to the 24 before he got knocked back by Avery.
You know, Brian White, the running backs coach here at Boston College, he's coached some greats not only here, but back to the Ron Dane, Heisman Trophy winner, coached him at Wisconsin, all across the college football landscape. And he's not only got a good one, A.J. Dillon, but showing his backups can go as well.
Here goes Bailey again, first down. And this is textbook Boston College football right here now, as the Eagles pick up a first down, and they're in the CPI security red zone here.
Well, look, nobody with a hand on the ground for Louisville. Lucky they can get up and even stop the bleeding here, Wes. I mean, that's that quick hurry up, and it's got to feel like at this point right now for that defense. Last week where they get into it in the second half against Georgia Tech, and everything's working. Everything's just coming right down your throat. right now with this hurry up, even though it's a different style, you're getting some flashbacks. Somebody's got to step up and make a play.
In the CPI security red zone, Bailey to work again. Took a big lick, but falls forward to about the 7. Third down and short.
We talked about Hassan Hall running the ball for Louisville. Finish the run. Finish. I mean, David Bailey, he's not done until that whistle blows. He's finishing. He's getting those extra yards. He's putting some punishment, some pounding on this defense. It adds up.
Give him another one and falls forward to about the 5. C.J. Avery to stop. So now Lichtenberg's already hit a 38-yarder, James. It's a 4-point game and under 6 to go. So what do you do here?
This is a tough call, isn't it? You're going to have 4th and a yard. You got the big banger. You know, a 7-point lead is a big number. It's obviously a touchdown. You miss it, and a touchdown can put Louisville in the lead, but you got them on their heels, and you feel like you can outpower them for a yard. This is what the offensive line wants. I'll guarantee you that. Look at the big bodies.
And now Steve Addazio on a moderate jog toward the line judge gets the timeout called. We'll step aside as well. Big 4th down coming up when we come back. Well, Fenway Park, game 1 of the ALCS coming up tonight after 8 o'clock, James. We got a big 4th down coming right here at Alumni Stadium. Give is Bailey. Bang dong, leaning, and I don't think got it. Boy, Louisville did a really good job. Boykin, the defensive technique guy inside, the first guy there. In fact, they don't even need to measure. Louisville gets the stop on downs. And the Cards are going to take over at their 5.
Penetration kills it. Boom, they stand them up. Winning that fight, the guys in the white jerseys. Bailey's hit deeper in the backfield. The second effort's going to get him a little bit of a lunge, but not enough. A great job to stand him right up, get underneath those pads. How about that? You drive all the way down there, and Louisville really can't stop the run that entire drive. And then when they need it the most, they finally stiffen, and they don't give up a yard. Now can the offense march it down?
Hassan Hall picks up 5. Out to about the 10. The Boston College drive was 8 plays, and they give it away on downs with a 4-point lead. We'll see where that goes in the storyline of this game, James.
Well, and I mean, you look at it. You kick a field goal, you're up 7. And yeah, you feel like, my goodness, we should be able to get 1 the way we've dominated, especially this series right now. If you're a BC fan, you're hoping it doesn't factor in. And the defense can just get you the ball back.
2nd and 5. Play clock down to 3 for Puma pass. Gets it snapped, hands to Hall, and nothing. Boy, BC played that beautifully. Wyatt Ray in off the defensive end spot.
You know, and speaking of getting underneath that pad level and standing guys up, here's Wyatt Ray just scooting inside. You know, Wyatt Ray is almost like those pitchers. We come on with the Red Sox. He can give you the power, and he can give you the quick, nifty changeup. In this case, it's speeding it up with the changeup, the change of speed, making guys miss. Look how upset Bobby Petrino is. He wants to get this ball snapped. It's a big 3rd down for his offense.
Looking here, caught up top. The catch is made, Devontae Pete, and that'll be enough for the 1st down. 3rd catch of the day for Pete at 6'6".
Well, the big body working right there on Will Harris. Plenty of time for pass, and you know you've got a big body 1. But first things first, be in position. Where are they running those routes?
Yeah.
Where are those sticks? They're trying to get to those sticks. That's all that matters right there in that situation. Good job by Louisville to keep it alive.
Pass the throw. What a catch. He held on. What a catch by Des Fitzpatrick. 3rd catch catch for Fitzpatrick might be the best of his life.
And he's going to have control by securing it, tucking it on the helmet. Hello? Anyone home? Is anyone home? I can't get service.
And he held on to it in the roll.
Yeah. And, you know, there's no question, too. It was a good call, the bang-bang by the official, to see that he had control.
Well, you'll go a long way not see one like that again.
Good focus.
Hall breaks free. Oh. You cannot give Hassan Hall a crack in the door, James. Lucas Dennis the tackle.
One more time. First of all, just to go back and get a hand on it, knowing that the hit's going to come, and then to keep control when you hit it full speed, you hit the ground.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Those are the kind of plays they got to keep making.
1st and 10. Out on the perimeter, Hall, and he's going to be brought down by Will Harris.
Good job by Hamp Cheevers to fight off his block and to make sure he gets out there and gets that edge. Everybody's giving chase to Hassan Hall, and if that corner doesn't get set, he can get out there, make that turn, and it's off to the races with his speed. So an excellent job to fight by the cornerback.
2nd down. Cuts it loose. Catch is made. Tutu Atwell. Stopped by Richardson, shy of the 45, and that'll be another 1st down. Chartarius Tutu Atwell, little guy out of Miami, with a 12-yard catch.
With the pressure on Puma pass, he'll step out, buy a little bit of time, and those routes, when they come all the way across the field like that, when you're giving chase, it's tough to hang with these guys for so long. A little bit of a rhythm now here for this offense after the defensive stop.
Pass, guns, caught, and that is another grab for Fitzpatrick. And another 1st down, in Louisville very confident in the offensive run and pass possession here. Getting a little bit of everything, James.
And most importantly for Puma pass is getting a little bit of protection. Nobody there, plenty of time for everything to develop out there in front. He's seeing the field well. He's spinning a good ball, which he really has been the last couple weeks. He's been playing a lot better.
1st and 10, inside route, and the catch is made. Devontae Pete, another grab and a 1st down to the 29. Pass is now 6 for 6 in the 2nd half.
Devontae Pete goes 6'6". Hamp Cheevers, he's not 6 feet tall. Good coverage. But that big body, those long arms, not a whole heck of a lot you can do. Dazio's defense found that out the hard way against those big guys from Raleigh that Ryan Finley was throwing to all last Saturday. So many times right there in their hip pocket, but able to connect.
Pass, wants to throw, and that'll snap the streak, looking for Atwell. RPO look. Allen pressured him into an errant throw. Louisville has moved it from its own 5 after Boston College was stopped on 4th and short. And now facing 2nd and 10 at the BC 29 in the final seconds of period 3 here at Alumni Stadium. Pass, another quick throw, and a drop that time. Fitzpatrick, the intended receiver, threw it slightly behind him, it looked like, James.
Yeah, but it's got to be caught. He's been putting it right there on the money so many times. This one, it wasn't perfect, but it's a ball that if Dez gives it just another beat, secure the catch before you take off running.
Third and the full 10 for the Cards. Richardson, the linebacker, who didn't play in the 1st half because of a targeting call in the 2nd half last week at Raleigh, ends the 3rd on a sack. No blood in quarter 3, but plenty of action. Final 15 on the way from Chestnut Hill after this.
The blitz came fast and furious, but watch the lips. Bobby Petrino, throw the ball away. Throw it away. You give up so many yards on the sack. Now the only thing you can do is punt it away. Talking to his young quarterback, Puma Pass. The sophomore takes the sack, and it's a big one by this defense.
So we start the fourth with Kane trying to fire it up the chimney chute here, and it will bounce inside the 10, James. How about that? Another one. Touched up at the 7-yard line. That's where BC will start. And our game summary after 3 periods of play here at Chestnut Hill today. And well, the total yards are close, the plays are close, the turnovers.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it. Fourth quarter football. It's a huge game, middle of the season for both of these teams. Louisville trying to do everything they can to get back on track, get a win. And for Boston College, here at home, favored by 2 touchdowns. This is one you got to win.
15th carry for David Bailey starts the 4th period possession for BC. Got about 67 yards now in the ball game on 15 carries. Tackle made by Kane Pass.
We've been bouncing around, changing the channels all day. David Bailey's just a freshman from North Carolina. A.J. Dillon is shelved 1 more week with that ankle sprain.
Look at Bailey. Flips it out to the 13. That'll be enough for the first down. There is a flag, and it's offside on Louisville. You know, we asked, guys, yesterday, we asked Steve Adazio about David Bailey. We thought we were going to see him in Raleigh last week. We did not. And James?
Offside, defense number 98. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
And after Steve Adazio told us that Bailey was a thumper.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how many plays can the thumper play? 12. Well, that's 15 carries.
Hey, keep feeding him the way he's running it.
Yep. Bangs into his own guy and then still picked up 8.
Coming out party. It was A.J. Dillon. It was a year ago in Louisville.
Yep.
And a nice win on the road for BC. And this is what gets that big offensive line, those tight ends jazzed.
Well, Bailey got stacked up right there. I don't know that he got the first down at the 28. We'll see.
A lot of things offensively with the game plan last week, Wes, went out the window. It just they couldn't stay on the field. 0 for 10 on third downs before they had one. They were 5 of 12 for third downs before this snap.
Brown will just shove it across the 28 to the first down. That guy right there is a player in the hoodie. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
A.J. Dillon, they're calling it an ankle sprain, but you got to think it's a high ankle sprain because, you know, just a regular ankle sprain doesn't seem to linger so long.
Here's Benny Glines coming near side. Glines fires through. Good hard running out to the 48 for Ben Glines. 19 yards and a first down.
Big one, too. And you mentioned Kobe White doesn't have a catch yet today, but it's Kobe White that's going to help spring this with his blocking on the edge. There are the guys on the inside, and there you saw the very end of it. Kobe White driving out that defensive back, giving his guy a chance. When those big plays hit, a lot of times it's because of those outside blockers.
Play fake. Here's White. The catch falling into the white stripe out of bounds near the 30-29 of Louisville. And they are calling it a catch on White's first grab of the day.
You make the block, you get the rock. Good job to look it in. That right foot looked like it came down.
23-yard throw from Brown. Here's the quick toss and Glines trying to find a seam. Boy, not happening there. Okeke, the redshirt freshman at linebacker.
Etheridge, Hicks, Avery, Okeke.
Not a junior, senior among them, James.
No, freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
Been some good linebackers to go through there, too. You mentioned Keith Kelsey Jr. earlier in the show.
Yeah. Down to the 25 goes Bailey.
All right, now defensively, it's hey, one play, they're getting after you. Don't let them put it back to back. You got to stiffen and you got to be consistent. They got a nice play for Brian Van Gorder. They got to keep it up. You got to get set, gap control, be sound, and They'll find a way to slow it down here.
Off tackle, Bailey. Boy, took a lick. Right at the line. Was that pass? I think it was. And C.J. Avery. Boy, C.J. Avery's come back into this lineup with a boom. Man, look at that. Louisville has matched them. Here's Brown out of the backfield. Levy inside the 10 at the 5. And down to around the 2 goes Travis Levy.
You don't get it done on third down, come right back at you. Don't even take any time to decide on this one. 4th and 4. There's Levy doing a good job of tucking it and turning it up and go, getting even more than needed. And again, guys blocking downfield. And here's a chance for a big score for BC.
Bailey at the right side and stretches down to about the 1. Almost 5 minutes into this 4th period of play, James. This is a big possession in the game here because it's a 4-point game and could become 2 possessions with a touchdown. Bailey, touchdown. 10.5 to play. 2nd rushing scorer of the year for the Maryland freshman David Bailey.
Defensively, yeah, they're hurrying it up, but you got to get set. You got too many guys not quite set, taking their time to get down in that stance. It's do or die when you're down there knocking on the door, and I know you're tired, but BC winning that battle, blowing off the ball, and an easy stroll into the end zone for a touchdown.
13 plays, 93 yards, 4 minutes and 13 seconds. 11-point lead for the Eagles when we come back to Chestnut Hill. Well, David Bailey, 22 carries, 94 yards on the day. He had 7 carries on the money drive to get his 2nd score. Boston College now an 11-point lead.
They always play Sweet Caroline about this time in the game here, but I wonder if they realize David Bailey's from North Carolina High School back in Maryland.
That's it.
Coincidence?
End over end kick, and Hall signal for the fair catch. Louisville will play from its 25. We started in the drizzle. The sun is out. 4th quarter action continues in a moment. 31-20 Boston College. How about our Aflac trivia question answer? I gave you earlier in the ball game what current NFL head coach and 3-time Super Bowl winner has a son on BC's roster? The answer, Mike Vrabel of the Titans. His son Tyler, one of a litany of notable football and historical ties to this roster. Throw by pass, offline, looking for Seth Dawkins. And we're not kidding about this, James. Look at this. Ron Dane.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon's grandfather, of course, broke the color barrier in college football. Told you Wyatt Ray's the grandson of Nat King Cole. Even Joe Tess's son, John, is on the squad.
It's like Hollywood. They're superstars when they come around here, you know.
And Zach Allen shaking up. Remember, we saw him come off the field last week in Raleigh.
Only to head right back out there. And that time of year, though, you know, it's stars or not, it's rough and tough. A lot of banging. Those bodies.
Snap to pass. 2nd down. Crossing route. And this is Tutu Atwell stepping away, and Atwell can fly. He'll have a 1st down to the 39, maybe the 40.
Well, it's a 4-man rush, and there isn't much rush. We just saw Zach Allen go out, and there's all the time that Puma Pass needs to just let the bodies clear. And you got to know when you're dropping that many guys, you got to have a feel. You got to have a feel. You got to read those eyes. You got to have a feel for where they're going. Here comes a blitz.
Yep. Pass again. Backside throw and incomplete to Fitzpatrick as Hamp Cheevers was in coverage, Rebecca.
Well, guys, Tutu Atwell sort of having to defend his own words today, because earlier this week when he was asked about what he saw from the Boston College defense, he said, I just see a lot of slow people. And he's a freshman saying that.
Wow. Well, when you can run like Tutu, everybody's slow.
Yeah. Well, how about Jim Reed, the defensive coordinator? He goes, well, that's pretty smart for a freshman. He's got it pegged. So he looked slow late in the game at time.
Pass to throw under duress, and before Ray could get there, he threw it incomplete toward Mickey Crum, the tight end.
You know, the back and forth, the play call. You bring four, and Puma pass is going to get you. They get it blocked. And then you don't have him rolling out. You bring a blitz, and the pressure is there. And he's forced to hurry it up. So now with 9:45 left to play in this game and 2 scores down. Not dire straits here, but like to stay on the field with a big 3rd down and 10.
Across the middle, and Fitzpatrick couldn't pull it in. Louisville going for this? No, they'll punt.
No way. Almost 10 minutes left in this game, and you know now that one is a little bit further behind. Was it Dez that caught the one on his ear earlier? Yes. So we know we can turn around and go back there and make it. Bobby Petrino talking it over with Puma pass. Now it is up to that defense, though. They cannot let Boston College drive the length of the field again like they did on that last drive.
King. Nice looking punt here. Walker looking toward the sun from the 20, 25, and whoa. I think he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line.
Flags.
Kamari Everett, the tight end, was down there, and D. Smith, they're 2 number 11s on the roster.
Holding on return team number 80. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down.
So we'll take a timeout. Chestnut Hill on a Saturday. BC by 11 back after this. 11-point lead for Boston College. They're going to take over at the 11 after a penalty. And don't forget ACC All Access, Jeff Fischel this week. Spotlight with Ryan Finley. Back for his final year in Raleigh and hoping to get the Wolfpack. Well, they're going to have every chance next Saturday, James. That'll be quite a ball game with Clemson, NC State next Saturday, 3:30 at Frank Howard Field at Death Valley. We'll even have a special preview segment of the ball game. Get Batesy's thoughts on a showdown in the upstate.
Well, I can't wait to watch the matchup of an offensive line that is really playing some physical offense as a unit for NC State. Go up against those big timers. That front 7 for Clemson.
Here's David Bailey. He's had a career day. Picked up almost 7 on 1st down. Well, let's talk about the Slingers next Saturday. Trevor Lawrence, a freshman from Cartersville, Georgia, and Ryan Finley, the 6th-year player out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, how about the numbers for the freshmen, the efficiency. You know, and just glad that he's okay after the concussion, all that trauma, and it looks like we'll move the chains. A nice pickup there by Bailey.
Clock moving toward 9 minutes to go.
But, you know, Ryan Finley's he put some balls on the money. We've talked about it a couple times throughout this broadcast. It was, it's good to have these big physical receivers that can separate, like all those guys, Harmon and company. But you got to have a quarterback that can get it there, too.
Play fake by Brown, and Sweeney, just a rolling catch of it. 5th catch of the day for the tight end, Tommy Sweeney.
Well, and it was, you know what, did he gain a yard? I don't even know if he gained a yard, but still, it's, you know, you're going to get 20 ticks off the clock here and eat away at that clock. It'll add up. They're quickly over the ball, though.
Bailey just kind of follows the lead. Avery, the tackle. Been impressed with the freshman from Ridley, Maryland. #1 tailback in the state a year ago, James.
Well, they compare him to A.J. Dillon with his power, but what has shown up a little bit to me is that he's got a nice little burst, too, for a big man, 245 pounds, and I love the way he finishes.
25 carries, 106 yards today for Bailey.
What a big down here, Wes. 3rd down and 8. Can Louisville find a way to get off the field?
Brown, Levy in the flat, tried to turn it up. And out of bounds, the clock will stop at the 28. Kaman, the tackle. That's a good-looking prospect, too, by the way. Redshirt junior at 253 on a 6'1 frame, playing at the end spot. So Steve Adazio going to let the play clock wind down. The game clock rolling with it inside 7.5 minutes. 2-possession game here for his club. Trying to get to 5-2. It would be the first time in his tenure they've been 5-2 with a win today. Wobbly kick. Fielded by Burns. And BC rallies to the play. Shy of the 27. Time for this week's Toyota Let's Go places. You get into this town, well, every corner. Boston Harbor, Paul Revere House, the Old North Church, James. You can do it all here. Still going to the Old North Church. Then you can go to Mike's Pastry. You can go to Antoine's. You can go to Limoncello.
All you can handle.
Oh.
Let's Go place. You don't need to go any other places if you just come to this place.
Jordan Travis is coming to the game. He played last week in the game against Georgia Tech late. So Travis into the ball game now at quarterback. And this is the freshman from the Benjamin School in West Palm Beach, Florida.
His head coach, my old roommate in college, Eric Kresser. And how about the job that Sebastian does here? He was exact same situation, didn't snap that head around. He was in position earlier, got called for the defensive pass interference. This time he's stride for stride, sees those eyes get big on the receiver, whip that head around and knocks it away.
Here's Travis. Cutting it loose, incomplete, trying to go to Devontae Pete. Kresser, of course, started his career in games. Finished in Marshall, right?
Yeah, won a national championship there with Randy Moss in Huntington.
Yeah.
That's my guy. If it doesn't interfere too much with the broadcast, I'm going to tell you an Eric Kresser story, head ball coach Steve Spurrier story that would have happened on this weekend because Florida's playing at Vandy.
Yeah.
So don't let me forget. Third down, though. Can't do it over third down and long.
Not with 6:49 to play in a 2-possession game. Travis in trouble. Going to cut it loose and almost caught Fitzpatrick, and then deflection to Tutu Atwell. And Louisville goes 3 and out.
Just when BC needed it again. They get off the field and nothing you can do, Louisville, but punt it away. The pressure there in a hurry for Travis. Everybody's covered up down the field, but almost just putting it up there where Dez can go up and get it.
Oh, man.
Just enough.
And Boston College may have dodged one there, James. 4 possessions, 4 punts for Louisville in the second half. And Walker the fair catch. 6:36 to go. We told you there are plenty of things to do in Boston. Sometimes you got to have cannolis with the coach.
Mine was better because it was the Florentine. It was the Florentine shell from Antoine's. I'm telling you.
Well, Bad Bowie Mowers presents our Covering Ground segment. And these are all the 100-yard rushers in Week 6, James, in the ACC. How about that? And we've already got a 100-yard rusher here today.
Mowing it down. And well, listen, Reggie Gillespie is... thanks in large part to I think the emergence of Person, the freshman, running well and lighting a fire under the older player. And speaking of young ones running well, David Bailey got 106. Maybe he'll be our Bad Boy Mower guy of the week next week.
Bailey will get the carry and whoa.
Make it 104.
Robert Hicks is a freshman from Miami. And I mean, just adding to the hit list in this game. Now, we've seen a lot of Dorian Etheridge today, but this Robert Hicks packs a wallop.
BC taking their time now over center.
And Bailey another carry. And back to the line. It'll be 3rd and long. We approach 6 minutes to go in the game. Steve Adazio with 35 wins as the Boston College head coach now in 6 seasons. 48 in his career. Went 13-11 in 2 seasons at Temple. And that was after he'd been at Florida for 6 years with Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow, and got some of those guys that were with him in Gainesville as assistants also on this staff. Here's Ben Glines in the backfield now with Brown. 3rd and long, Glines the carry, fires through. Ben Glines breaks free. 40, 35, 30, shoved out of bounds at the 25 by Burns. Huge play in the game with 5:17 to go.
Oh, without a doubt. You're going to get off the field. You go back-to-back, great plays defensively. And then you got some guys overrunning, just out of their assignments. They're running past it, trying to go make a play. Everybody flying around, and Glines takes advantage. There's that 1-2. There's that punch. There's that vision.
Yep.
And again, not only the vision for a guy who's a receiver until A.J. Dillon got hurt. Now he comes into the backfield as a running back. The vision, but then you see him. He switches that ball over to the right side, gets it on the outside arm. That's, you just mentioned him, Brian White coaching him up there, those running backs in the running back room.
Yep. And here's Glines one more time, running hard. Well, and these 2 guys today will have a hard time posting the day that A.J. Dillon did. They've done a nice job substituting for him last year. 272 yards and 4 scores, and look at that one.
Wow.
Boy.
The strength and the speed. The eraser, as head coach Steve Adazio calls it. He can erase any mistake. He can erase a lead. He can do it all for us, and they're hoping. Remember, he didn't play last week. There he sits today, a streak closing, a jersey on top, and then he gets a bye week before Miami in that home stretch, so hopefully he can get healthy.
Glines banging away. Algiers Jamil Dillon is a 6-foot, 245-pound sophomore from New London, Connecticut, that is a textbook Adazio football player, James.
Well, and from that school, Lawrence Academy, they've got a bunch of guys on this team. It's former player from Boston College that was the head coach there for quite some time. And sent a lot of guys here this way, play for the Eagles.
Timeout for Louisville with 3:50 to go, and Steve Adazio's team gets Miami here 13 days from now, and then the back end of this schedule is the thing that you have to look at. It's brought to you by Logan's Roadhouse. At Virginia, at Florida State, the 2 roadies, home to Clemson on November the 10th, and joked with Dabo Swinney and Steve Adazio in July. And Steve told Dabo, hey, don't worry, we'll make sure it's cold.
Well, you know, for October 26th, it can get kind of chilly for some guys from the bottom.
Yep. I formation. Martin has come in ahead of Glines. In this traditional-looking eye on 1st and 10 at the 10. Glines trying to fight through. Boy, Louisville got great penetration. Okeke has played well here today. Louisville has had, James, moments, and another 30-second timeout call for with 3:45 to play.
You know, and it's not making excuses for Bobby Petrino's defensive side of the ball right now, but it's a young team, and it's a team that's lacked consistency. So you know, you go back before that Glines big run. You got to put those plays together. You can't show up one play and then take one off. You can't, you know, it's got to be every single snap. And if that were the case, you'd almost rather have just a bunch of also-rans that play on the same page and give you some consistency and fit those gaps in the right spots than guys that are going to make huge plays and then take a couple off, or just not be in the right spot, not know exactly where they fit into this package. And that's one thing that got them with a different style of offense in Georgia Tech last week. And that's one thing that the tempo can do to these guys. Not give them a chance to get a new play call in, not get them a chance to get down and get set, not give them a chance to catch their breaths as well.
2nd down. Bailey banging away. And another timeout taken by Louisville with 3:39 to go, and we told you earlier, great football players here, generational players, and Steve Adazio yesterday was quick to mention Matt Ryan, who came here to BC out of Malvern Prep outside Philadelphia. Matt's got his jersey retired here and honored at Alumni Stadium, and he married Sarah Marshall, who's also a BC women's basketball player. Those two still very close to the program here. And notice when they retired the jersey in a win against UConn here a couple of years ago. There is Matt and Sarah, who had twins, by the way, in the offseason. Marshall and Johnny. Oh, they're happy about the BC start. And be a lot happier at 3:39, right?
Yes. One more step towards getting where Steve Adazio's trying to take this program, and it hasn't been easy. It never will be easy. It's never gonna roll out there and just say, hey, we can take our pick of any athlete in the nation.
Sweep for Smith around the edge, diving for the pylon, touchdown. Bang away, and on 3rd and goal, hand it to a Blur.
So Smith, talk about all the Florida guys on Louisville's team. They got a couple here. That's an excellent job of extending, reaching in there, and that's a no-doubter. Controls it, across the goal line, inside that pylon. Former quarterback, the senior from St. Pete. Getting involved.
He's been known to throw for him, catch him, and now score one on the ground, right? And holds it for the point after from Lichtenberg. New score now, 3:34 to play, and it's 38-20 in favor of Boston College. And James, that is 24 in a row by the Eagles. Our coverage is headed to Wallace Wade Stadium. Outdoors at the fabled Horseshoe on the West Campus in Durham next Saturday. 12:30. We'll be in the Coastal Division, James, for the first time in a couple of weeks. Alama Day Zacchaeus, I'm going to make you proud. Right?
Well, Bryce Perkins is making his coaches proud. The way he's leaping over this Louisville team a couple of weeks ago. That'll be an interesting matchup. Two good quarterbacks going at two different styles of quarterback.
By the way, Duke was 7-all with Georgia Tech and scored 21 points in 1:49 to end the third quarter. And they lead 28-14 and now have won the game 28-14 in Atlanta. Pittsburgh leads Notre Dame. It's South Bend.
How about that? What's the score there?
7-3.
It's the Unis. We got those throwbacks on again. My favorite in football.
Tyler Harrell. Shy of the 20. That's where Louisville will start. Quick look at the Coastal, where we'll be next Saturday. Georgia Tech now 3-4. After the loss, 1-3 in the league. There is a flag down across the way. Duke, by the way, 2-1, James.
Holding during the return.
And 5-1.
Correction, half the distance to the goal.
Well, it's updated. 1-1 is Duke, 5-1 overall. Virginia, Miami later tonight, by the way, as is Virginia Tech at Carolina. Interesting ball game for the Cavaliers tonight with the Canes. We had that game a couple of years ago at Scott Stadium.
It was an interesting game. UNC was a good game up there too. Bronco Mendenhall and other guys. These head coaches, when they talk about the ACC getting better, it's because of guys coming in and turning around some of these programs, like Adazio.
Travis, the quarterback, and almost picked by Cheevers. Looking for Jalen Smith, who is without a catch today for Louisville. And with 3:23 to play, young Travis getting some reps in there. So he played for Cresser, right?
Yeah.
West Palm.
Jordan Travis. It's Almost 2 picks there for a Florida guy. Speaking of West Palm, speaking of the state of Florida. All right, I'll give it to you after this play. I know what you're asking.
Here's Travis in trouble and going to be sacked. And that's McDuffie pulling him down around the 1. Zach Allen set it up, but Isaiah McDuffie finished it off.
Zach Allen has been setting up a lot of things. The penetration just shuts everything down and kills them all, and a nice job of hanging on there by McDuffie. McDuffie's had a nice day. All right, we're at Vanderbilt. The stands are really close there to those sidelines there in Nashville. You used to call games there.
Yeah, sure.
And Kresser gets in late when we're beating them pretty bad, like 35. We're up 4th quarter.
Unlike today.
And Kresser's a run play running out the clock. Kresser checks off and throws a bomb for a touchdown. And the Vandy fans are just giving the head ball coach like, you're running up the score, run up the score. They'll let him play it here on 3rd down.
Travis on 3rd down. In trouble. Did he get out? He did. Reached the ball back into play as Wyatt Ray was taking him down.
Nice job there by Jordan to just stretch it out. All right, take that safety and take care of that football and not drop it at the same time.
So Kresser checks off the play?
Yeah, so Kresser, and you got to know Kresser a little bit too, because Kresser, man, he had one of the strongest arms anybody ever seen. He loved to just air it out. And here, that's all he wants to do is, and he sees the check that's there for him, checks off, throws a bomb for a touchdown, and the Vandy fans, coach, you're running up the score, you're running the score. Spurrier turns around to him because it's so close, like, it wasn't me, it was him. It was him.
Fair caught at the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, it's a little bit strange, though, to sit up here in the booth and to call a game where a quarterback is playing that his coach used to give me every one of my haircuts during college. Kresser he was the barber in Yon Hall. He was a barber. He's a heck of a quarterback and a heck of a barber. He can do it all. That's all you need, right? Someone to teach you how to throw the ball and cut your hair.
I'm just beginning to find out in the almost 6 years we've worked together what kind of characters you played with, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good guys, man, and it's a
touch of the knee by Anthony Brown gets the clock rolling. Well, Louisville's going to lose a 4th straight game, James, and Wake Forest will visit in 2 weeks to Cardinal Stadium. Boston College, though, is going to go to 5-2 for the first time in Steve Adazio's tenure here at Chestnut Hill.
Yeah, and to do it in a hurry. All these. It's funny how everybody just kind of is entitled to win and expects to go win 10 games every year. All of these fan bases, and at times you kind of get that sense around here. But to knock down some of these hurdles that have stood in the way. It's they haven't been able to say they've been 5-2 in 6 years around here, and he knew coming in it was going to be a tough one without A.J. Dillon. But you let them rest one more week. Now you've got the bye week, and hope you can have them when Miami comes to town.
Well, and here's the other thought too for Steve Adazio's team. They're going to hold Louisville to 5 second-half possessions, James, and no points. No points at all. And there is the final snap of the ball game. So the Cards will go to 5-2, 2-1 in the ACC. Or the Eagles go to 5-2 and 2-1 in the ACC. Louisville now 2-5 and winless in 4 conference games. 38-20 is the final at Alumni Stadium. And in just a moment, Steve Adazio will visit with Rebecca Cable. 3rd downs were going to be big today. And they proved to be not only big, but his defensive effort in the second half by Adazio's Eagles was huge as well. And they got a great lift from David Bailey, who was there today as the running back spot filling A.J. Dillon's role. Let's join Rebecca with Coach Steve Adazio.
Thank you very much, Wes. Well, Coach, your defense shut out the Cards in the second half. Your offense tacked on a couple of touchdowns. What was the difference in that half after really a battle in the first half?
Well, listen, in the first half, we spotted them 14 points. We had 2 turnovers, and that's what stopped. We had early great momentum, and that stopped a little bit of the momentum. But our kids kept battling, and to their credit, their kids were battling. And they've got a young team they're developing. And but I think our guys, I'm really proud of them, came out in the second half. We saw the emergence of David Bailey, the freshman running back, which we felt right along was a guy, a big, powerful, strong back. I mean, even in the second half, we had a touchdown call back. I mean, and then we had points. So we had 2 turnovers. We had a call that reversed, gave them a score when it was there, and then another one here on a penalty. So that's 4 scores. So I thought we played hard. I thought it was a good football game. I'm proud of our team and just ecstatic how they fought and battled.
And I wanted to ask you about your freshman, David Bailey, because with no A.J. Dillon, you are kind of looking to see who else can step up.
Well, Benny Glines and Travis have done a great job, but David brought that big, powerful element that, we rely on and what we've trained for. And we knew we had a guy in him, but he's young. And then this was kind of his deal today, where kind of like A.J. last year, maybe right around here. I think you saw the emergence of another big, powerful back at Boston College.
So you head into a bye week with a 5-2 record. How important is a little bit of rest right now?
Well, obviously we get hoping to get AJ back and to get our team healthy again. And we're 5-2. I mean, that's a good mark to be at right now, and we should be at complete full strength when we come back at this thing, and we'll be playing home on a Friday night against Miami.
And just from Wes and James, we'd like to thank you for the cannolis this week.
Well, I tell you what, I want to thank all of you guys because you brighten my Friday. And what a great group of people, real professionals, and we just really appreciate you. So thank you very much.
Coach, thank you and congratulations.
All righty, take care, guys.
All right, Steve Adazio, thank you.